AGN 1340. Go Vols!
And hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another stellar edition of The Drive here on Fan Run Radio. Russell Smith punching the time clock on a Tuesday afternoon edition of the show. Thank you for joining up this afternoon as once again, okay. You'd like to have more than that. Like, you certainly want to keep, 5 or 6 of those 9.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got 2.
We've got Debo,
Dwayne Brown,
and Ethan Berg.
the Hasidic sensation.
Eton.
That's all we got.
Bring back Berg.
I feel like maybe we should start calling him by his right name then.
I mean, that's never been your policy, so I don't
know. Wow. So across both storied basketball programs, we currently have 2
guys.
No, I'm including Lady Vols.
2 guys. Well, they got
0.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to include incoming freshmen, they've got 1. We've got 3.
And we got Lundblade.
Lundblade, yeah. So
we got 6. We can field a team right now.
absolutely, we can go play ball. We even got a bench.
This one surprises me. I really thought that he was going to stay, just because I assumed they were going to pay him.
Amari Evans going into the portal within the last hour for Tennessee. This on the heels of Jalen Carey going in last night, Troy Henderson going in earlier today. So the only 2 players left from last year's roster at this point are freshman Dwayne Brown and Ethan Berg. And there are rumors that, Ethan Berg could go. Dwayne Brown did officially announce, and this is what we do now in 2026. He announces that he is coming back. So we know Debo is sticking around for next year.
Well, here's my question. I have to rely on you, Bob. I mean, how worried should we be? I mean, me and Russell are prone to, some might say, hysteria. Years.
Oh,
I'm not. I think what Russ said is the only thing I'm really worried about. There's like some ungodly number, and we're contributing to it, of players that are in the portal or going to be in the portal here in the next day or so. We'll find players. The question becomes, it's like we're going for a very high ceiling game, and there's, I don't know what the floor looks like at this point, because we lost a lot of guys, and the culture, which has always been Rick Barnes' secret sauce, I don't know how that exists now. You've got, 2 guys.
I mean, Berg's been here for what? Because it was in that video. I mean, I don't think he's been here for maybe 9 months.
So they've both been here for less than a year.
Yeah.
Berg's been here a little less than Dwayne Brown. But to Bob's point, that doesn't matter. I mean, you're talking about 2 guys who were bench playing freshmen.
Yeah.
On last year's team. They can't exactly be the standard bearer of the vaunted Tennessee basketball culture of hard work. It's not about me, all that stuff. You're going to be relying on an entirely new cast of characters to do that. And here's the concern that we enter into is, are we doing right now what Kentucky did last year?
I mean, I guess we won't know until the fall. I mean, but the culture ship sailed with JP and Cade, in my opinion.
Remember how excited we were about the freshman class? About, these are Barnes guys.
They're all gone.
One of them's still here.
I guess Brown is a part of that, but they're basically all gone. Bob, this is what Kentucky did last year. Like, they didn't have a good year one under Mark Pope, so they flipped the roster just about complete. I guess Colin Chandler was back, maybe one or two others, but basically an entire roster flip, and they bring it in, and it was a culture disaster. Players didn't get along with each other. Oweh was back, obviously, who's a big piece, but it blew up in their face, and they're really mad about it. It's what Kim Caldwell did. I know the men's and women's programs are different. We can go through that, but she had a nice first season, laid the foundation, went heavy in the portal, brought in a bunch of different players from different places of different backgrounds, and it blew up in her face in spectacular fashion, to the point where there are many people who have given up on the program, think that she ought to be fired, yada, yada, yada. And it feels like Rick Barnes. Here's what I think is happening here, Bob, and you tell me if this lines up with what you're hearing. I think we've got a coach right now who is going all in on trying to assemble a super team, whatever you want to call it. He's got a lot of money to spend, and he's not going to settle on guys whose ability he's intimately familiar with and he doesn't think is of a quote-unquote championship caliber. And if it blows up in his face, the man turns 72 this summer. He's perfectly content to walk away.
I'm starting to believe this, and I'll talk about a little bit about what I've heard as well in a moment. But I really believe one way or another, this might be the last run for Rick, right? I mean, because this.
Well, I mean, that's.
I'm talking like this coming season, not a couple years, because this thing could, we could put it together. Yeah. And I still have some confidence in what they can put together, what I'm hearing they have as far as money to spend, all those things. And they're going to need it because, as I've been saying, it's a freaking arms race, man. Everybody is going to be in. We're not the only school that's going to have some money. There'll be schools with more money than us.
Yeah.
I mean, back to Kentucky. I agree with what you're saying. Actually, I think that became a byproduct of what they had to do in year one. In Pope's year one, they actually overperformed because he had to build a roster in like a couple weeks. And he did it, and they got to the Sweet 16, but they were a lot of seniors who moved on. And so I think they said, let's just run it back. We can do it again. And it failed miserably this year. And that's the risk. And that's kind of the game we're about to get into now. That's the thing that worries me a little bit.
Speaking of Kentucky, we play Northern Kentucky in baseball coming up in a little bit under 3 hours. I've got a pair of tickets to that game. It's regardless of what do you think about where the season is going, I mean, surely we should beat Northern Kentucky tonight. It is a beautiful day in East Tennessee. How would you rather spend this evening than sitting underneath the sunset and underneath the stars, sipping a cold beverage at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, watching the boys in orange and white try to get this thing back on track? Our friends at Crown Cleaners giving us a pair of tickets to give away. We'll do that, obviously, here in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. Get your dialing fingers ready as we get set to give those away. Also, speaking of Crown Cleaners, you know what time it is.
Spring cleaning time.
It happened, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to two-time King of the Brackets winner Jason Garner, whose UConn Huskies fought valiantly last night, but fell in defeat. It is not the three-peat for Garner. He finishes 14th. And this year's King of the Brackets, is Big Wayner's winners. Yeah.
Well, Big Wiener call in.
Big Wayner.
Oh.
God almighty.
I mean, you don't sometimes don't.
I went out of my way to enunciate because I was afraid that might happen. You go out of your way not to listen.
I was sitting here listening.
Why would I say big? See, this is why I can't trust. No, I can't trust Bear. I mean, I've known that for years. I can't trust this audience. Big winners. I'm assuming this is Wayne.
Yeah, I blame Wayne. Wayne has some culpability in all this.
Wayne has a lot of culpability.
Making up a silly name like that.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations. He beats out Bear beats Battlestar. It's going to be one of those shows. Bear beats Battlestar Galactica, came in second place. All these people had Michigan winning, right? It's called a pivot foot, was number 3, and JL Pettimore was number 4, rounding out the top 4. So congratulations to Big Wayne. Get in contact with us. Send us your blood so that we can run it through the Fan Run Identity Factory back here, and we will get some good stuff. Crown Cleaners gift card, the Pizza Kitchen have a really cool, I believe it's a $50 gift card from Tupelo Honey out here in Farragut. So Big Wayne's getting hooked up here this afternoon. Appreciate Crown Cleaners for their sponsorship, as always, of King of the Brackets. If you've got any spring cleaning to do, take it on up there to Crown Cleaners. I go to the Bearden Hill location. They're also on North Shore Drive, kind of near where we're going to be on Friday, out west towards the Casual Pint North Shore, South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Visit crowncleaners.com. Click on the big blue van to learn more. A locally owned and operated business, Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Back real quick to the, you brought up Kentucky, what happened with them this year. Do you not have a little bit more faith that wouldn't happen to Barnes because he's very particular about who he brings in?
Yes. Yeah.
He's got about 30-something years of coaching experience on Pope, and
Bob, Rick Barnes is not a guy who takes character risks.
Correct.
He's very diligent about, he's looking for a player from a specific type of background, good family behind him, not a bunch of, hangers on, people with
handlers.
Yeah, handlers, things like that. And those players are out there. You can get them. Sounds like we're going all in on Juke Harris, and maybe even I've heard Badunga could be a target. We'll see. Obviously, you're fishing in deep waters,
right,
for those players.
But and going back to what I was saying, and I've been one that I know the guy, and I've been one to say that I don't know what he's going to do once he retires because he loves ball so much. He doesn't have other hobbies for the most part. At the same time, he is all about player development, and the fact you look at the subtext of this, that a lot of these players are all young that are going on, and he's going to invest in guys that have a year, maybe 2 of eligibility. That's a guy it feels like maybe pushing his chips in, and just going for it. And I'm supportive of it if we think we can get there. But man, it's such a stark pivot for him at this point. That's the part that I'm a little surprised by, to be honest with you. So,
and it's hard to watch Evans walk into that portal, man.
Yep.
I mean, we talked most of the season about how we're really looking forward to his next 2 years of development. He's going to end up being the next superstar at Tennessee.
Well, I mean, I think, look, the reality is, and it's happening everywhere, this is not like this program's victimized. This is absolute chaos right now in the portal. Everybody's asking for outrageous numbers, outrageous amounts of money. I've heard some of them from good authority, and it's insane. I mean, when you have a Cade Phillips and Bishop Boswell, and I love them, asking for like 4 and 5 times what they are currently making this past year. I mean,
and Phillips he's been a bench player his whole career.
The rumors I'm hearing through various sources, and first of all, I don't trust just about anything. Bob, I'll trust your sources because obviously you've got some good ones, but there's a lot of stuff I see from people I know that it's like, well, how would anybody know that?
Right.
But some of the numbers I'm heard being thrown around that like Estrella could be getting.
Yeah, I know.
Or just
and if he can get it, then go get
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, you got to go. And I don't even hate you for it. Go.
If I'm Rick Barnes, I'm not paying that, what you're talking about.
For a big with a bad foot and kind of injury prone.
But I'm telling you, between Bishop Boswell and Amari Evans, both of them going, I mean, one of those would be, you talk about trying to just keep the culture afloat. One of those guys would make a world of difference.
I think it'd be Bishop.
Well,
just because he's
either
been
one.
here longer.
Either one. Yeah.
Either one.
Imagine you had both of those guys just to like, okay, I'm not that concerned about perimeter defense. But you don't have it. And now you've got to go out there and find it, replace it. All right, we got Ryan Shumpert of RockyTopInsider.com coming up here momentarily. We'll go through some of this stuff with him, and we'll get into this baseball team as well. I know Shump is big into that, and maybe even some football. I don't know. Is there anything to discuss with this football program? We do have the spring game.
Yeah, there's something big to discuss.
Yeah, what the hell's going on with Chaz Coleman?
Well, we can get into that as well. A lot of rumors around was he the number one overall player in the portal?
Number one player on defense, I believe.
I mean, he was the guy
Sam
that
was
coveted afternoon.
Everybody
after afternoon
did. Yeah, we beat out Ohio State for him.
Yeah.
MIA at practice today.
Mm-hmm.
It's never good. What is up with these football players who don't like to practice?
It's weird. They aren't football players for very long.
That's a good point. Football takes practice.
An insane amount of it.
Seems like.
And discipline.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. Caller number 10 right now at 865-966-3435. 2 tickets to Tennessee baseball tonight, 6 p.m. first pitch against Northern Kentucky on a beautiful Tuesday evening at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, courtesy of our friends at Crown Cleaners. Caller number 10 right now to get Tennessee baseball tickets for tonight, 865-966-3435. Your number. We'll let you know who won, and we'll talk to Shump when we get back right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
video. Taking your phone calls, 865-966-3435, your number to call or text to the show this afternoon. We do have Ryan Shumpert of RockyTopInsider.com standing by. Good afternoon, Shump. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Man, just head is spinning right now, trying to keep track of all this portal news with Tennessee. On the one hand, it's certainly entertaining. On the other hand, I feel like to not even casual fans, Ryan, but even some of the hardcore fans out there in Tennessee Nation and whatever college sports team they might follow, this is all a little disorienting, isn't it?
It is. No, I completely agree. And I think I saw, I want to say it was Sam Lamps who I had a tweet earlier today that at the time over 30% of players in Division I college basketball were in the transfer portal, which is just a crazy number. So not entirely unique to Tennessee by any means, but certainly very chaotic. And the Vols are doing their part to account for over that 30% clip.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for joining us. When you and I did our weekly podcast last week, I recall we talked about a number of what did we expect to retain out of the 9 returning players on the roster, and that 9 did not include Nate Ament, who we're presuming is moving on. And I think the number you said was 5, and when you said it, I was like, man, that
seems low.
Seems a little low. And then now look at us. You were a prophet, my friend.
Well, I don't even know quite that. I was overestimating it, and
better than I was, though. I thought it'd be a couple, and I mean, it blows me away, really.
Yeah, and I think even if I'm not mistaken, I said 4 wouldn't surprise me. I don't think 4 would be a terrible number, and really, as you look at where Tennessee stands, I think if Tennessee had been able to keep one of Bishop Boswell and Amari Evans, and they were able to keep one more player in the front court, ideally JP Estrella, but even if it were Cade Phillips and to a lesser extent Jalen Carey, I wouldn't feel like what's going on is too crazy. But certainly the numbers at this point are pretty jarring, and it's going to again be a whole new team next season, and probably an even more dramatic version of that.
Ryan Shumpert, RockyTopInsider.com. So you've got Dwayne Brown, you've got Ethan Berg for now. We'll see if those guys hang in. You've got 3 signees. You've got Tyler Lundblade. So as we were talking about, you do have 7 guys. You've got a roster, you've got a bench, which is more than we can say for Kim Caldwell across the hall over there. What are you guys hearing at Rocky Top Insider as far as who Tennessee is involved with here on the first day of the portal, anybody that's likely to visit, and what you think the priorities will be for Rick Barnes as he flips this roster heading into next season?
I haven't heard necessarily likely to visit names at this point. Now, it's kind of strange to me that the portal opens and we're in a dead period, so players can't go on visits until Friday anyway, so it's not exactly hitting the ground running on that aspect of it, but some names that Thomas Dowd's kind of a stretch power forward at Troy is a name out there. I think Juke Harris at Wake Forest, who Tennessee finished runner-up for him out of his high school recruitment, and now he's back in the portal. And then, I think there's a ton of big men that I've heard Tennessee mentioned with, kind of true rim protecting centers, the Tillery kid at Kansas, who I think would be a great get, the Hines kid at Seton Hall, the McGoof kid at San Diego State. And this is an aside, I genuinely feel like every single big man in the entire country is in the transfer portal. So I don't even necessarily worry about Tennessee finding some good options there, but those are a couple names that I've heard. And I think point guard remains, to me, the biggest question at this point. There's been some names that I have heard, but nothing is definitive, nothing down the road. So in my eyes, point guard is the biggest need. But a rim protecting center and a scoring wing are certainly not far behind that either. So and just as a whole, you got 2 players at this moment returning, 1 transfer incoming, 3 high school players incoming. There's not really anywhere Tennessee doesn't need to add players and add help at this point.
One of the things we were talking about, Ryan, before you joined us was Russ and I in weeks past, and I think you and I have talked about it before too, about one thing we liked, no matter what was going to happen with this team this season, it was like, man, that core group of freshmen, we know we're going to need some other like blowtorch level players, but those guys all felt kind of like Barnes guys, and so now the majority of them, save Dwayne Brown, they've moved on, right? At least in theory they have. And so I have no doubt that we go out and get some big names. You've just mentioned some of them, but my question to you is, it does have me thinking about what the future looks like, because Rick has always been about development, right? Players that he could develop. And we are, it seems to me that we're going against the grain on that with this new version of what the Vols should look like this year. Does that give you pause to think about, hey, could this be kind of a last ride for Rick? I mean, this is just conjecture. I get it. But I mean, this does give me a little bit of pause. What about you?
It does give me pause. That's something that I said to people over the course of the season, how much longer Rick coaches. I think, to me, it felt like if he could retain some of these guys and not have to break the bank to have some of these culture guys, sustain them for a number of years, then I thought he would probably like to grow with them and, make a run with the core. But obviously that hasn't happened, and Tennessee is just going to be very much, it feels like, year to year, at least going into next season. And I guess with all this, and when it comes to the 2026-27 team, like, I'm not hitting the panic button by any means yet. I think certainly we'll see what they end up doing, and they're going to have a lot of money to be able to spend on a roster, and certainly very little cost that they've already committed to at this point in time. But it does feel like it's a higher risk, or a higher ceiling, much lower floor type situation with what they're doing, with not having the program guys. All those guys we talked about were good defensive players, and that's what has made Tennessee's program so consistent, is how good they've been on the defensive end. It feels like, I have a really hard time seeing Tennessee being, at the same level that they've been next year. Obviously, we'll have a better idea once we know what the roster fully looks like, but at the same time, the offense can be better, and I think that could potentially raise what the ceiling is of this team too. And for maybe those people who think that defensive identity has been holding Tennessee back a little bit, their chances of making the Final Four. And as far as just next year's team, maybe some of this stuff can prove to be a good thing. But obviously, when you have this level of change, there's just a lot of innate risk that goes into it.
I mean, I guess one way to look at it optimistically is we just saw it. We saw it firsthand last week in the Elite Eight game, and then we saw it last night. Michigan wins the national title. All 5 starters were in the transfer portal and came out. Namari Burnett came out last year, but 4 of those 5 starters were in their first year at Michigan, and they made it. To say they made it work's an understatement. I mean, they were borderline historically good. So not to say that that's just a drop in the bucket and that's what can happen here, but we got to believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of examples of this working, of stuff looking completely new one year to the next, and it being completely new rosters, and people putting that puzzle together, coaches putting that puzzle together really, really well, where the pieces fit and you have a great team. But there's also plenty of examples of it not working too. And look, I think Rick Barnes deserves a level of confidence in him and his staff to make it work. But it's kind of just what I'm saying. There's the innate risk that comes in when you're going to change this much stuff. Of what if players get hurt? What if these players don't fit together? What if the culture's not great? You just bring a lot of questions,
right,
and a lot of factors into consideration when you, with a lot of those players that have been in your program, some of the things you weren't concerned about because you knew what type of guys you had, and there was a level of culture and just more things you knew about them from having spent year, 2 years, however many years in the program.
If you look at the way he's built this thing the past couple of years, all his best players going back to Connect, Lanier, and then this year Gillespie and Ament were just 1-year guys. So I think there's part of Rick that is looking at this modern age and saying, you know what? It's not that bad. Like I've adjusted, and it's gone well. And I'm sure he likes coaching the Meshachs and Zieglers of the world for 4 years, and I'm sure he wishes that he could have had a guy like Amari Evans to be that culture standard bearer for 4 seasons. But maybe that's just not, that's just not the era we're in anymore. And I kind of see it, to your point, Bob, about like, could this be Rick's swan song? I see him like going into this and saying, hey, I'm going to try it this way. This is kind of new, but I've been doing some new things and it's kind of working. And if I bring in 10 plus new guys and it works and it goes well and I don't have attitude problems and like we're still winning, we can keep doing this as long as I'm having fun and I'm healthy. But if it blows up in his face, it becomes good. I could see him being like Tony Bennett or Jay Wright and being like,
Yeah.
I've won enough. I'm ready to ride off into the sunset.
I'll see you on TV. Tournament time.
I don't know if Rick does TV. Is Rick Barnes going to be behind the desk?
I could see. I don't know. I think he's hilarious. I mean,
I'm not saying he wouldn't be great at it. He would. I don't
know if he's going to want to do it.
I feel like he's in the garden, or maybe working on a car in the garage or something, or just
in a NASCAR race.
A little golf, something like that.
Yeah,
Arnold Palmer, kicking it with Bob and the boys up on the steps at Cherokee. Not really a question there, just open-ended comment. Ryan Shumpert, RockyTopInsider.com with us here this afternoon. The other thing that stands out to me, Shump, is I watched that game last night and the Final Four. It not just Michigan, UConn, Arizona, and Illinois too. They for sure had great players, right? And there will be some guys that we saw in this Final Four play in the NBA. But I don't see the Peterson kid from Kansas, Ament, or even a Connect out there. I see some great players, but great teams cobbled together where the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. So I don't know that you look at the transfer portal right now and say, oh, we need 3 5-stars and to this. I think you just need as many good players as you can get, right?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the case. And guys that fit together and size just in general. I mean, it's a pretty clear trend of these bigger teams that can have a lot more versatility in the way that they switch and the way that they can win the shot quantity game by dominating glass and then also doing at least a solid job of taking care of the basketball. And look, I think that's what Tennessee tried to do last year. They just, really two things that those teams have. I don't think Tennessee was as productive inside scoring as they thought they would be with that front line. And then also not quite as much shooting. You look at basically all these teams, at least all the teams in the Final Four, it wasn't necessarily that all of them were just a bunch of superstars, but there was a lot of shooting across the board on those teams, in depth and shooting options, whereas you didn't have to have just this 5-man lineup on the court to be able to stretch the floor and make life a little bit easier to get paint touches and score. Like they had different ways to do that, and I do think that's kind of the direction Tennessee went with the roster building. That was an area that they lacked.
Hey, jumping over because we'll be teasing through basketball all show long, and while we got you on, I want to get your thoughts on a couple other things. I know you've been pretty preoccupied with the basketball too, but are you hearing, there's a lot of stuff floating around about, this is football, about Chaz Coleman not practicing, all this other stuff. And again, I'd say we're, the fan base is a little fragile right now, just given all the stuff that's going on. Have you heard anything on the football front, or have you been just pretty much immersed with the basketball?
No, not really. There's some stuff that Sylvia has said, or comments he's made, but it's not like I've just been locked in following up on all those to know all the details, and probably not my stuff to say anyway. So no, not really.
Turn my microphone on here. Shump doesn't want to get into the Chaz Coleman rumors with us, Bob.
Well, there's so many rumors right now. You got to be selective, I think. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, it's not good. What about this baseball team, Shump? What's wrong here? Is it a mechanical issue with the lineup? Obviously, the bullpen is a problem, but I'm over there a couple games this weekend, and the vibe has changed over there. There's something different. The hornet's nest that Tony talked about so much feels more like a Sunday garden that LSU walked in for a nice stroll.
Yeah, and it felt that way last year to me too. And maybe some of the expansion of the stadium has taken some of that away, and maybe some of it too. By the time basketball season was over last year, it's kind of lined up with when the team started to struggle. So maybe it had that vibe more early in SEC play when I wasn't there, and I think too it more so had that vibe, especially that Game 7 against Wake Forest. It was a good environment in there, though. Maybe not the best that I had seen by any means, but not that was surprising. So, yeah, I think it's hard. The environment is different. I think it's hard to pinpoint what is, the why. Certainly the team's not winning, and that, I think, more than anything, affects the environment. But I think there's anyone that would want to say there's other factors that go into that. I think there probably is, and I would listen to, most any argument. So from that aspect, that's what I'd say. As far as the team, I think it's just a bad combination of an offense that's not very good and a back end of the bullpen that is very bad at this point. And, maybe a team playing a little bit tight when it gets late in the games because they've lost so many close ones. So it's a bad combination in a lot of different factors of what's going on with this team right now. But the starting pitching and a couple of bullpen arms that are good enough that they're going to continue to play, I think, a lot of close games. We'll see if they can find a way to win a couple more, and in this, evens out in games that are decided by, just a couple runs.
Speaking of that, I watched that game that Cam Appenzeller pitched in, and, we've all been exchanging texts on that kid. I mean, he is so good. And at first my inclination was, man, with all due respect to the starting rotation, which is pretty good in its own right, does Appenzeller deserve a shot to be a starter? That said, feels like he might be the best arm he's the best arm we got in the bullpen right now in the current state. Do you feel that's where he's got to stay put and then focus on him being a starter next season?
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I think you could go a number of ways there and it work out fine with Appenzeller. I think generally speaking, if he's one of your best pitchers, I like the fact that just to use him as a starter and see how far he can go. I think an argument that I would have had against that is all right, this guy's a true freshman. Let's be wary of his arm wearing down over the course of the season. You saw that happen to Chase Burns and Drew Beam in 2022. To almost the extent of, all right, maybe we use him as starter, but let's wait until late April or May. But at this point, you can't really wait to do that. Tennessee's fighting to make the NCAA tournament. They're behind schedule in terms of collecting SEC wins to make the NCAA tournament. So from that aspect, it makes me think maybe you should just go to him as a starter. But I don't really think it matters a ton either way because of just how much they are using him out of the bullpen. It very much feels like to me on Friday and Saturday, Tennessee wants to use two pitchers in each of those games and have those guys get all 27 outs for them. And they had a very quick hook on Tegan Kuntz on Saturday to go to Appenzeller, and he, threw a good deal of innings, I think 4 2/3. So they're getting a lot of usage of him out of the bullpen to where I don't think it's just like a must that they have to start him, but part of me is also like, he's your best pitcher. Why complicate things? Just put him in the starting rotation.
Oh, I'd go full Dave Van Horn on that kid. I'd have pitched him Sunday. You only need one out, man. You tell me Appy can't come in and get us one out. Shump. Good grief.
I think you burn trust with kids and recruiting are going to get killed for stuff like that with a kid who's got a future like Appenzeller has. This isn't a Kevin Kopp situation who didn't have a whole lot of pro aspirations or pro potential. Now, what I will say, I do think they're being a bit rigid in some of this stuff. Like, I'm sure they go into the weekend being like, all right, Appy, you're going to throw on Saturday. I don't get why he's not an option on Friday night when it was clear Arvidsson didn't have it. I mean, Josh Ealer talked about they wanted to keep Arvidsson in to face Jake Brown, who's LSU's best hitter and a left-handed batter, and he was the fourth guy up in the eighth inning. But there are two batters. It's just clear. I mean, Arvidsson's not even close to the zone. It's clear he shouldn't stay in the game, and you're leaving him in there because you want the lefty-lefty two batters later.
Yeah.
And I get all this stuff moves quick, but it's like, well, why don't you just have Appenzeller say, hey, we might need you tonight, so be ready. Be in the bullpen and be ready to go if we need you, and go, all right, well, Arvidsson doesn't have it. Let's go to our other lefty. And then, turn around and he throws 25 pitches to get you through that game, and you turn around and throw them on Sunday, and then you change some stuff, and Arvidsson throws on Saturday because he threw 10 pitches on Friday and didn't have it. Like, I think they're being a bit rigid, a bit too rigid and not flexible enough with some of those decisions. But all that to say, I would not have thrown Appenzeller again on Sunday.
That's why I'm not in that dugout. Too many harvested UCLs.
They don't make them like Bob Gibson anymore, Russ.
No. Get
Tough
back.
guys.
Yeah, you're starting. That means you throw 9 innings.
Hey, what about – I got this guy on my fantasy team. I know you're a Cubs guy. What happened to Cade Horton?
Yeah, it sounds like the reports are not good there. They haven't said anything yet, but I'd be surprised if he pitches again this season from what I've seen.
Oh, man, that's rough. That's rough. As a Braves fan, I feel your pain when your pitchers start dropping in the first week of the season, or in our case, the first, pitchers and catchers report.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, half these dudes are on the shelf. That's a tough scene.
Yeah, Braves fans can definitely relate. And, some of it just feels like it's the nature of pitching these days. These young guys, it feels like it's just a matter of time until they get hurt, and trying to keep them healthy over the course of a 162-game season is just very, very difficult.
It's so weird, man. Like, there are all these pitchers. There are several pitchers of the Braves. They've got so many on the shelf, it's hard to keep up with. But there's like a couple of guys where they draft them, and they're like, we know that he's eventually going to have Tommy John surgery. But he's okay for a while. We'll let him go ahead and get started. We'll send him down to Mississippi to pitch for like a season. And eventually he'll have surgery. And then we'll wait a year at that point, and then we'll start again. So it's like all these pitchers are like 3 or 4 year projects before you're even thinking about getting them to the big leagues.
Yeah, and I think almost more frustrating when they get to the big leagues. And you have this case. I mean, Cade Horton came up pretty quick. He was, I think, in the 22 draft. Like, he was on that Oklahoma team that lost to Ole Miss in the College World Series. And it's kind of the same thing with Justin Steele, who had Tommy John last year early in the season for the Cubs, where the conversation's like, all right, well, he's having arm soreness and he's going to have Tommy John at this point. Do you try to push through to let rest of this year with him maybe not being at 100% and then have him have Tommy John in off season and probably miss all of next season? Or do you just, pull the Band-Aid off now and go ahead and have him have Tommy John? Like, it's crazy, the pitching injuries and kind of the conversations around it in the modern game.
How many guys, like back in the day when you hear about, like, in the 60s and 70s, of dudes just they would call it, like, you just had a sore arm. Like, they didn't know. They didn't have an MRI machine. It was like, oh, he's got a sore arm. And they would just, like, try and pitch through it for years with who knows what going on in their elbow or their shoulder.
I mean,
and who knows what in the world they were injecting every single time they had to go pitch every 5 days.
Well, also back then, they weren't trying to blow their arm out when they're 15 years old. Like, that's where the injuries come from, is from youth baseball and how fast these kids pitch at such a young age before their ligaments are able to handle that kind of velocity.
Yeah, 100%.
If you really want to get dark, think about all the great pitchers that we never heard of because they're throwing hard in the beginning of their careers
14?
Before Tommy John, pre-1980 or whenever they started that surgery. Yeah, they blew out their elbow or their shoulder or something, and if it happened today, they'd have been able to put back together.
You can do that in a lot of sports. I mean, Chuck Webb with modern knee replacement.
Absolutely. Gail Sayers.
Yeah.
All right, Shump, good stuff, my man. Really appreciate the time. RockyTopInsider.com for all the latest on the Tennessee basketball portal. It is literally changing by the hour, so be sure to be tuned in to Rocky Top Insider. Thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you, Ron.
Ryan Shumpert, RockyTopInsider.com, covering it all right there. I was just looking up our boy Kevin Kopps.
Yeah, no nugs about Chaz Coleman.
He's working in Double-A, San Diego Padres, Double-A, 11-12, 4.3 ERA for his minor league career.
So your theory is the reason those guys could throw so much back in the day, Walker, is because of there was no travel baseball and They weren't all trying to throw 100 miles an hour in high school.
Yeah, I think that's a significant part of it. There was something I read a while ago that if you are a young baseball player, your UCL is not fully developed to be able to throw 90 plus mile an hour until you are at least 24, 25 years old.
Really?
So, and these kids, if you're throwing 90 miles an hour and you're that young with a ligament that
That's
still has
interesting.
close to 10 years of development, like you're asking for it to get torn. It's like a rite of passage at this point for those guys. They're like, okay, I'll tear it and I'll get it put back together and it'll be better than ever in a year.
I think it's more likely that what I said, like we just had a lot of guys blow their arms out and you just never heard much from them.
I mean, that too.
I mean, there are guys like that's what happened to that guy. Is it Jim Bouton who wrote Ball 4? Like he was a budding superstar with the Yankees.
Blew his arm
And
out.
he ended up hanging around like, he had arm injuries after like a year or two with the Yankees, but he ended up hanging around for 10 years or so. I think he invented Big League Chew.
Wow.
Something like that.
That
Yeah.
stuff was delicious.
Oh, it's
Still
great.
is.
It still is.
They
Great
still make
stuff.
that stuff?
Oh
yeah.
All dugouts have that stuff.
Well, you don't walk through. You never go through the checkout line at Dick's or
Always
Academy. Yeah.
I
That
never
Big
really
League Chew.
noticed it.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we take a break, to add on to that, like another thing about it is guys are trying to recover faster and get different surgeries. Look at your guy Spencer Strider decided to do a faster surgery that was more experimental, that he wanted to get back quicker. And since he's come back, the velocity.
AJ Russell had it too.
Yeah, AJ Russell for us last year. He just like when you do it too fast, the stuff isn't there the same. Spencer Strider has not looked the same.
My
since.
favorite, and again, there's so many injured Braves pitchers. I think it was Schwellenbacher, maybe Hurston Waldrep. They said that he has, quote, loose bodies in his arm.
Oh, man.
Like that's what they like,
Yeah.
loose bodies. They're like, oh, yeah, we got to get those loose bodies cleaned up. Can't have that.
Well, no, because they'll get the joint, lock it up.
Oh, is that what'll happen?
I think so.
With the loose body? You think so?
I would imagine. Why don't you play the
Don't-
music for my
Don't
associate over
imagine.
here?
Like that's not what you want to hear from the
Well,
doctor.
you can't let
Think
them
so.
float around in a joint.
I'd imagine. You got to get those loose bodies taken care of. I mean, loose
Yeah.
bodies sounds like something Dr. Bear would diagnose.
True. Look it up. It's a thing.
Sorry, young man. You'll never pitch again. You've got loose bodies. Stay with us. The drive continues. More Fan Run Radio coming up.
The Drive.
East Tennessee Sports Authority. This is Fan Run Radio. Knoxville. Where are the best ribs in the Volunteer State? Rickard Ridge. Who has the best barbecue catering packages in East Tennessee? Rickard Ridge. And where is the most beautiful setting to enjoy a meal with family and friends? Rickard Ridge. Rickard Ridge Barbecue. Just a quick
Greet you as you call in today, 865-966-3435. Your phone number, you can call or text us this afternoon as we break the, by the way, it's Dwayne who won the King of the Brackets this year, presented by Crowd Cleaners. Congratulations to Dwayne. Dwayne. May the king, what do they say? Long live the king.
Yes.
May the king live a long time.
I would play him the royal music, but it got deleted.
Kneel before the king.
It's good to be king.
Let's get Dave on here as we go to the phones for the first time this afternoon. Hello, Dave.
Hey, guys. I was told by somebody that's pretty reliable down there, his wife works down there, that they again have been taken back by the amount of demand on the NIL.
Who?
You're saying our former players?
Our coach, our head coach and staff didn't know that the market was going to be this high.
I don't buy that.
Well,
it goes up every year, man. I mean, it's that's the funny. That's the thing is you can have more money. They say, well, we're going to throw more money and more money, but the more money you throw at it this year might not buy you a better roster than you were able to buy last year because the prices just went up.
Right. And I have a hard time, the thing about coaches like Rick Barnes and Tom Izzo was the culture. I've noticed that Michigan State has had nobody jump in the portal, and our entire roster has jumped into the portal. This is just not going to work. And I'm not buying this. Tony's telling me about the super team and all this stuff. I'm not buying it, guys. I'm just not buying it. There's no guarantee that somebody else, that a player you want, that somebody else is willing to pay even more money for, like what happened to Rodney Rice last year.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that part that you just said, but the example we just cited when we were talking with Shumpert, I mean, I wouldn't call Michigan a super team, but again, the whole starting five came out of the portal. I mean, so how can you point to that as, that
can be done.
It's not
Obviously,
entirely flawed.
Well, Barnes, it wasn't that his system didn't work and what he had going didn't work. It's been very successful. The thing about it is that he's always been a third score away the last 3 years from making a Final Four. The Connect team, the Lanier team, and this year's team with Ament and Gillespie.
This team wasn't a shooter away, Dave. I mean, you've got to be on. I mean, you watch those teams. Come on, man.
This team, but I'm talking about the previous 2 years.
I think this team was a shooter short.
I think they were shooter short.
They were more than that.
I mean, I don't know that.
Though.
But if you have one more shooter, you're probably not playing Michigan when you played them because you're not a 6 seed. You're going to be a higher seeded team. You might have a better path to the. I'm not saying we would have beaten Michigan. Maybe I think Michigan was just too dominant this year. But one more shooter, and you probably could have played with UConn. I sat there and watched them play with Duke for the majority of the game. So,
right, but I thought the previous 2 years, like if you'd had Dalton Connect and Chaz Lanier on the same team, and that could have worked because Connect was a ball dominant guy and Lanier was a catch and shoot guy. You'd have had 2 outstanding shooters on the perimeter. So his system, because they've always been elite defensively. Until this year, they were okay on defense. But
you say that as if it was Barnes was sitting there and he could have had another shooter and he just declined to get him. I mean, you've got a budget to work with, right? And I'm sure he would have loved to have another scorer on every team he's ever had here. So thank you, Dave. We got to run here. Hour number 2 of the drive coming up on many of these fan run affiliates. The top 4 at 4 with Walker. Up next.
The Drive. Fan Run Radio.
the flagship station for Tennessee fans.
This ain't no wishy-washy, limp-wristed, kale-eating, half-ass sports radio station.
We're your in-your-face, truth-telling, say it loud, flag-waving, face-painting, hardcore, bring the noise, causing a ruckus, don't give a damn sports station.
Sports talk that doesn't just hang up and listen.
For the fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Get some.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia, courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys, every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half. Simple luxury for on and off the course.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
It's time for the Drive's Top 4 at 4.
Hour number 2 of the Drive underway. It's Fan Run Radio, and the Top 4 at 4 is brought to you this afternoon by the Casual Pint North Shore, where we will be on Friday for a special Masters Friday live broadcast of the Drive. Come on out, have a cold beverage with us, watch a little golf, and it'll also be your first opportunity to pick up free Knoxville Smokies tickets. We've got them for you Friday afternoon at the Casual Pint North Shore. Walker?
At number 1, freshman Amari Evans, junior Jalen Carey, and freshman Troy Henderson have announced in the past 20 hours that they will be entering the portal. The three joined J.P. Estrella, Bishop Boswell, and Clarence Masamba in the portal, with Tyler Lundblade as the lone incoming transfer commit right now. Freshman Dwayne Brown announced today that he is returning to Tennessee.
So you got Brown and Berg. Sounds like a law firm.
Yeah.
The Associates of Brown and Berg.
I mean,
We're here for you.
there's been some chatter that Berg may enter the portal, and I'm like,
how's he going to go?
Yeah, it's like, okay, man, you do you. I mean,
Have fun in the Sun Belt.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with him staying. I feel like he showed a little more. He showed some stuff here late in the season that he could
be a guy, come off the bench
Yeah.
and fill in a little bit at the point, play the off guard too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's versatile.
Yeah.
Good defender. Developed into a real nice defender towards the end of the year.
Conversely, if he goes, I'll be like,
yeah, it's
okay.
You're not crying in your beer.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination. No, it's interesting. Did not expect this to this degree. I thought we would have at least 4 or 5 guys returning, really more than that. But, this is, again, like to our previous caller's point, this is Rick Barnes' decision. We could have found the money to pay if we wanted to keep a core of J.P. Estrella and Bishop Boswell and Amari Evans. We could have found the money, but they had a price. Rick Barnes chose not to meet that price. He has made the decision, the calculated decision, that he can get better return for his dollar on the open market, and we'll see if that ends up being true.
Yeah, and for all we know, because Dave mentioned it, we've talked about it, I think it's on everybody's mind about the culture. It kind of falls in line with what you said, Russ. Rick made the decision. He might be like, the culture is important. I'm going to pick good dudes. But this is as far as we could get with all of that. So let's try something else. That's what it feels like to me. Gotta trust him, man.
Trust the process, as they say.
There you go. Yes, he's earned a little bit of trust for me, anyway.
I'd hope so. At number 2, Tennessee baseball's midweek matchup tonight has the Vols taking on Northern Kentucky at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. The first pitch is at 6 p.m. and is showing on SEC Network Plus. Ethan Beodo is starting on the mound.
Win this game. Don't get swept this weekend. You go 2-2 this week, and you come back home. Is it Texas up next? Who do we have? Or is it Ole Miss at home?
It's someone good.
Yeah, go 2-2 this week. Win your midweek game next week, and find a way to win a series at home.
Yeah,
you've got to. I mean, you got to find a way to get to 13 conference wins if you want to make the NCAA tournament. So don't get swept on the road.
No.
And don't lose a game like tonight.
God, no. Can't fall to the midweek minefield. Mississippi State's number 9 in the country, by the way, and we're going down to play them. We do have Ole Miss next, who isn't ranked, and then it's Alabama. We don't have Texas till later in the year in the first weekend of May. So we got that to look forward to in about a month. At number 3, Michigan put an exclamation point on a historic season last night with the national championship game, defeating UConn 69-63. The Wolverines won the program's first national championship since 1989 and became the first team to beat UConn in the Sweet 16 or later since Michigan State beat the Huskies in the 2009 Final Four.
Thought Crazy Danny was going to get him, boys.
They had a shot to make it 1.
He did. That's why he's who he is, man. I mean, they're outmanned. And he said it during his first half interview. He said, we're trying to lure them into the only type of game we can win against them.
They lured him into it.
They got him in a street fight, but they
just went ice cold from 3.
And how are you going to do that and not foul out all your best players? Like we weren't trying to do that, and we fouled out all our best players.
Yeah.
Like they tried to do it and got in foul trouble immediately. and hung tough with their 2 starting guards on the bench for half of the first half.
Yeah. Although I felt like they never really were going to win that game.
No.
I mean, it was like if there's such a thing as a 6-point blowout, that was it. It was weird. This is an interesting factoid. All right. I got this from OptaStats. In the NCAA tournament, teams are 1-50 all time when they score less than 70 points, shoot under 40% from the field, shoot under 15% from 3-point range on 15-plus attempts, and also get it out-rebounded. That one win was Michigan last night.
Wow.
And this was their year,
machine.
man.
And again, like
They did not
Lindeborg,
shoot well.
Lindeborg's hurt, doesn't even play particularly well.
No.
The whole team didn't.
And they
shoot
still win
well.
decisively.
They went, 0 for 8 in the first half, didn't make a 3. Well, like if they just hit a couple of their open shots, that's not a ball game. UConn was kind of hanging in it just because Michigan wasn't making shots and they were doing well on the boards.
I mean, they play defense last night, at least this team does an incredibly high level. I couldn't believe. I mean, they take no plays off. And they're just a really, really good team.
There's no such thing as an open shot at the rim against them.
Not with that
No.
Mara guy. And
No.
Mara's like a cheat code, man. Just really skilled for as tall as he is.
I hate watching those. I hate that they play these games, and I'll be that guy in football stadiums. I know it'll never change. I just hate it. I think it affects shooting.
It depends on the city. Like Indianapolis and Lucas Oil, from everything I've heard, is like one of the best cities and places to have it. Or like you could have it at Hinkle Fieldhouse or somewhere else in Indianapolis. It'd be a lot cooler. But like as long as they keep it out of like these stadiums that aren't built for it, I'm okay with it.
Did you see some of the wide shots in there? It just looked like a sea of people, man.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even imagine some of those
I
deep
hate
seats.
I hate basketball played in football stadiums.
Yeah.
I do too. So that's
Put it in an arena.
Might as well. And at number 4, there are some great pitching matchups in the MLB today. Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks face Freddie Peralta and the Mets. The Brewers' Jacob Mizorowski goes against former Vol Garrett Crochet and the Red Sox. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto and the Dodgers have a World Series rematch against Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays. Later tonight, the Braves take on the Angels at 9:30 p.m. in Anaheim.
Braves lost 3 in a row. Chris Sale got blowed up last night.
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about it. Did you see the Joe Adele plays over the weekend?
That was crazy.
One of the coolest things that ever happened in
nuts.
baseball. Like is it more impressive to rob 3 home runs than to hit 4 home runs in a game?
I think it's more impressive to hit 4, but robbing 3 is.
Is it?
I think so.
Think about it. You're going to get 4 or 5 at bats in that game to go and hit 4 home
Because
runs.
I didn't see all of them. I've seen people posting about this and everything, but wasn't some of he's in right field, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And some of them are where he's just sort of. It's not like he's Otis Nixoning all of these, leaping 10 feet in the air, glove over the side of the fence, like he's. The fence is against his hip, basically, and he's kind of reaching up into the bullpen.
I mean, he jumped for all of them.
Yeah.
And
they're
then the
impressive.
The third one is the one where he was going to the corner and grabbed it, dove into the stands, and then stood up with the ball with one of the coolest pictures.
Oh, that picture
ever.
is fantastic from behind, and it's shooting out to the field, and he's just holding the ball up.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
How about some of these pictures of the moon? You see some of that?
I've not seen
yesterday.
Pretty cool.
You haven't seen that?
I'll have to go look at the moon.
The joys and the wonders of the universe on display with modern photographic technology.
I gotta check some of these out.
I guess me and Bear are the only ones impressed.
Where'd you see them? Just did NASA post them?
Everywhere? Yeah, NASA, the astronauts. It's on the news.
The camera they
watch the news.
have on that thing was a big part of the big line.
The
item,
allure
apparently.
of it.
No,
Yeah.
on the budget.
So they made their trip around the moon. Did they just make one trip around the moon, or did they?
I'm not sure. They did multiple.
I feel like
they dropped in
these
the
are
orbit.
pretty cool.
I feel like you want to go around a couple of times, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, go all that way.
You have to do I guess what are the
a lunar orbit?
Yeah,
is it a slingshot?
I think you can do it. Like, to be able to just go around and around, I think you have to do what do they call it? They have to burn the engines to slow you down to get caught in the orbit, and then you got to bust back out of it.
The moon was so colorful. This is crazy. Yeah, these are cool pictures. Of
Cameras have improved.
Be careful for the AI. There's a lot of AI pictures out there. It's like, oh, check this out. This picture that Artemis 2 got. And then
no, you go to NASA.
Yeah, I'm looking at NASA's.
Yeah, you look through it and it's like, no, that's AI.
Yeah.
It's one by NASA's. Pretty sweet.
Have you guys seen some of the AI, like East Tennessee will never be the same now that Thompson Bowling Arena is getting a $1.8 billion facelift?
Oh, I saw that.
I saw another one today where it was Thompson Bowling would be rebuilt in the shape of like a 4-leaf clover.
Yeah. And they
Saw
had
that one.
And like the Sun Sphere was right next to the river. It's like, oh, we're moving the Sun Sphere too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There have been a couple like that. Be fair, as long as they have Jacoby come in and sing the national anthem when they break ground.
Oh, God.
Yes, you got to. You got to. 865-966-3435, your phone number to get on the show this afternoon. Tennessee basketball makeover home edition underway. Well, Holly Rowe deleting her tweet yesterday.
Probably the old ESPN PR monster got her.
ESPN PR monster? Or?
Can't be critical
ESPN.
of one of our partners.
It's critical.
Dr. Danny, has he got thin skin?
No, that's definitely. I would bet a lot of money it's an ESPN thing.
Who says it can't be both?
I think maybe it's. I think it maybe is ESPN triggered by.
Yeah, I think they got. If I had to guess, it would be Danny White or one of his subordinates picking up the phone and calling to the conference offices. Hey, what the hell? And then from there, the call is made from the conference office. Hey, come on, let's not bang on one.
Wonder what prompted her to pop off with that.
Good question.
Think anybody talk to her?
She's got a lot of friends, so that are in the game and
former Lady Vols.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, the thing that's crazy is she's one of many people who have. There was nothing incendiary about her comments, so she's one of many people in the media who weigh in on social media. People of prominence. I mean, I know she represents ESPN, and she's kind of one of the primary faces for women's college basketball, but still. This wasn't like some sort of really toxic take or anything either.
Well, no, I mean, she's like you guys we talked about yesterday. She's been covering this sport since its inception, pretty much.
Well, she got told by somebody to take the tweet down. Can we agree on that? I don't think she just takes it down because she gets blowback and she's like, "Oh, people are taking this the wrong way. I'm going to take it down." She was told by. Yeah, somebody in the ESPN hierarchy, hey, you need to take that tweet down. Yes, sir.
So somebody like Bob just sitting in his office up there in Bristol.
Yeah, but that begs the question is like, where did
the person?
I guess it doesn't matter. We're really, nitpicking here about how sensitive our athletics director is, but it's a sensitive time.
Text a friend, Danny. If you're upset about it, text a friend.
I think he did. I think that's why the tweet came down.
Yeah, but it's out there. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it'll live forever. I've got a copy of it on my phone.
You took a screenshot.
Yeah.
Just in case. Just in case Holly Rowe ever claims that she didn't attack Danny White, you can say, yes, you did. I've got the proof right here.
Well, no,
you didn't jot the quote down in your notebook.
You're number one in my book, Bob. Always.
Yeah.
865-966-3435, your phone number to get on the show this afternoon. 966-3435. You can call or text the drive this afternoon as we are getting a lot of feedback on the show today on the text box. Somebody in the 423 says Astro Bear has made an appearance on the show today.
Russell was opining about it before I was.
Yeah, nobody's going for Astro Bear. We'll stick to Dr. Bear. Somebody in the 270 says, assuming Elander survives this year, there's a very real scenario where you are replacing Kim Caldwell, Josh Elander, and a retired Rick Barnes all next year. Over under 2.5 of our current coaches in basketball, baseball, and football being here in 2029? That's 3 years. I don't think Kim Caldwell will be here. I don't know. I think 2.5 is high. I would probably put it at 1.5 or maybe even half.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Kim Caldwell will be here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Rick Barnes has retired in 3 years.
Sure.
And I have no idea if Josh Elanders, it's too early to say one way or the other, although the early returns are less than promising.
What do we think about talking about Kim Caldwell? Because they're pressing on, right? They hired an assistant coach today. They've got
Hold on, Bob. I've been working on this all day long.
Yeah, you're a better man than I am.
Isoken Uzamire.
It's pretty good.
I'm reading from the pronunciation guide on utsports.com. So
yeah.
I hope that's right.
Pretty good.
Georgia assistant, former Georgia assistant. But between that and some of the portal players making visits, it appears that we're pressing on with year 3 of the Kim Caldwell experience. And
a couple of gals from Fanch's squad at NC State, too.
Really?
Looking around. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
One of the ones that he Big Z, one of the Z gals, who was one of the players that he noted as being one of their best players, is looking at here.
I just wonder, because I hadn't seen that. I've been seeing a lot of mid-major players, and I just wonder. We'll see. We're going to see if that can work, right? And with her system and everything else, because if you didn't see it this season, I mean, the SEC was just getting tougher each year and more physical and bigger and everything else. So
I do think that there's something to be said for, like, you don't want to bring a bunch of Belmont players and Lipscomb and all that in here. But if you're getting, like, the gal from Liberty was the Big South Conference Player of the Year, and then there was another one that was all conference player from one of the mid majors. If you're getting players like that, and it's like, hey, last year we had a problem with these superstar players from Power 4 programs coming in and not buying into our system. If we're very upfront with these types of players of, hey, we're going to bring you into the most storied brand and tradition in women's college basketball. You're going to have a chance to play here in the SEC, but this is the way we're going to do it. There's going to be line changes. You're going to play 20 minutes. And you're going to play all out. We're going to shoot a lot of three. And there ain't going to be no back talk either. If you're up for that,
yeah,
you can come here and do that. We've got better resources than Liberty and Lipscomb have. And you can come here and do that. Oh, and by the way, we'll put a little money in your pocket. Maybe that's a better way to go about it. Maybe that's a better way to get loyalty to you and your system than recruiting players. Hey, please come here. Here's all the money. What do you need? How much money do you need? And then that player comes here with a sense of entitlement.
I found it really interesting. I saw some equivalent of a mock WNBA draft, and they had Janiah Barker going in the middle of the first round. But they prefaced it by saying super talented, but went through a peculiar final year in Tennessee was how they put it. And they said, which raises questions about, her fit with franchises and stuff. But it's amazing to me.
Her character risk, basically.
Didn't say that, but yeah, maybe inferred it. That's a possibility.
Well, it doesn't matter the sport if they can find any way to do that to somebody right before the draft to drive down their value.
Yeah.
They'll pretty much do that, won't they?
True.
Quick timeout. The drive continues. More Fan Run Radio coming up right after this.
The Drive. Check out exclusive Fan Run video content on YouTube.
variety of ways for you to experience the program this afternoon. We're also streaming on YouTube on the Fan Run Sports YouTube channel. Do us a favor if you're watching there right now. Look down and hit that thumbs up button. Give us a like. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It helps us keep the show free with limited commercial interruptions. So do us a big solid like and subscribe on the YouTube feed this afternoon. Baseball lineup is out tonight. A couple of interesting changes. Reese Chapman batting second, playing center field.
Oh.
Tonight, the Vols right fielder moving centers. I guess we're trying something. Freshman Nate Eisfelder gets the start in right field. He will be hitting ninth today. Other than that, pretty much what we've grown accustomed to. They do move Grindlinger up to hitting fifth behind Grimmer today. So you got right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right in the batting order today against Northern Kentucky. Mike on the text box says, is the Big Z girl from NC State Russian? That will excite Bear. I don't think so. I don't think we're recruiting any Russian players right now. Somebody did send me a video of Nikolai Volkov singing the Russian national anthem before a match against the Iron Sheik.
It's a Soviet national anthem.
Sorry. Didn't mean to. I know that's a very touchy, sensitive subject with you. Did not mean to offend. I'm very sorry, Bear. I know that's your people.
No, it's not.
But no, they said, it was Nikolai Volkov singing the Soviet national anthem before a match against the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden in like 1985. And the crowd was not having it. They was big mad.
Yeah, I thought that's, it's hilarious.
It is pretty good.
Watching all these people took it. It was real to them back then.
Oh, yeah. It was real to me.
But that's why I thought it was funny. I was like, you guys are a bunch of rubes. What's this guy singing this song? He's just, I don't know, playing you all like a fiddle.
I asked my son,
sings a song.
I asked my son the other night, like, you never really got into wrestling, huh? And he's like, no.
He's smart like his mother.
I feel like that's a
rite of passage.
Yeah, for young boys. I loved wrestling when I was.
You think I didn't?
No, Bob, are you into wrestling?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't a big thing in Indiana, professional wrestling?
No, I mean, when I was really little, there was some professional wrestling, like, back then, Dick the Bruiser, Ernie Ladd, all those guys.
Sounds like he was a little bit into it.
Well, but no, not that new.
Well, you didn't have TV.
Well, I mean, we grew up in the
televised
and here in Knoxville, growing up in the cradle of
professional wrestling. I never got to see any of it in person. My parents were not. This is one hobby that my parents were not indulging growing up.
Wrestling?
Yeah. They'll take me to football games, basketball, baseball, whatever. Support your dreams there.
That tracks from what you told me.
Buy
about
some
your
comic
folks
books and everything, but Dad's not taking me down to the Coliseum to see Ron Wright go up against the Mongolian Stomper.
God, the Mongolian Stomper. I do remember that.
He used to bring out, when he was on Channel 17 Wrestling, I think it was a Mongolian Stomper. He'd bring out like remember those big metal cans like High C juice or fruit punch? He'd bring those things out and stomp them. That juice would go everywhere. It's incredible. Mr. Atlas, Tony Atlas, Ric Flair. I've been in the Jacobs building when I was younger. See Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
You got to see it up close and personal?
Oh, yeah. I was honest to God. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I was no more than 10 feet away from Georgie Animal Steel when he literally chewed a turnbuckle up and spit the foam at everybody.
Did you see his green tongue?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was sitting next to you. Remember the Furness brothers that played football at UT way, way back? Probably before you were born.
Not even a little bit.
These dudes ended up being like world-class power lifters. They were humongous.
Walker, there's a guy named George the Animal Steel.
He had a green tongue.
He had a green tongue. That was his gimmick.
That's pretty sick.
His tongue was green. I mean,
pretty dope.
He was an animal.
I love it.
In real life, he was one of the sweetest guys that ever wrestled.
Really?
That's what they say.
That's disappointing.
There's a guy like that, or at least there was in AEW not too long ago, doing a pretty similar gimmick where his tongue was like green, acted like a giant dinosaur.
There's some professional.
Don't lose your inner dinosaur.
It's not the higher end circuits, but there's some professional wrestling circuit that Billy Corgan owns it.
Yeah, Billy
We've had
Corgan
him
was on the show
talking about it
like a year ago.
It's NWA Wrestling, one of the oldest outfits in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
One of the last independent ones that Vince McMahon has never been able to get a hold of. But yeah.
South Carolina coach Dawn Staley says today that she has spoken to Geno Auriemma and suggested that everyone, quote, turn the page after their mid-court argument at the Final Four fueled a firestorm of controversy.
You know what? The two of them are the Spider-Man meme. That's what the two of them are. They're the same person.
I don't know. I find Geno a little bit more duplicitous than Dawn Staley. I think Geno's a sore loser. I think he's all the bad things Pat Summitt said he was and then some. I think he is an absolute ass clown. And I wish, you want to talk about professional wrestling, I wish that Dawn Staley had whipped his ass as she threatened to do side court there.
Funny.
Because I absolutely believe that she could.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be hysterical, and it would have been a
beating on a
long
senior citizen?
time coming.
I've heard some stories about Dawn who, like when they play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, because they're usually playing just a total walkover,
Yeah.
She always wants to make the experience, and they play on, that team's got to travel to Columbia because they play on their home court, etc. She always takes care of that team. Like she'll buy the whole team dinner the night before, and she does really nice things. Whereas Geno, all he does in those first round games is score like 100 points by halftime, and just run the score up on teams. I think they're
not
different
arguing.
people.
Geno's definitely a garden implement. Is that how you described him the other night, Russ? As a hoe?
I could pick out better expletives to describe him, but sure, if you want, we can go with that one. But Dawn Staley's from the mean streets of Philadelphia. Like she grew up tough.
Yep.
She is, she would absolutely beat. She would make him cry. She would put him in the figure four leg lock and have him tapping out on national TV.
John Boy's got the whole thing down, the whole conversation. Have you seen his video yet?
Who's John Boy?
John Boy, the guy who does like
John Boy with
John.
an M. Okay, yeah.
I thought you said John.
Yeah, no, him. Sorry,
are you talking about John Reed? Who's John Boy?
Like Big Wayne earlier. Yeah, he's got the whole thing. It's hilarious.
You didn't need to read lips. There was audio of it. Somebody was standing right there.
I couldn't really make out what they were saying.
Oh, I could very clearly. She said, "I will whip Geno's ass" over and over and over again. It was awesome.
Candace was on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. And they brought up Pat. I can't
Did
say
she
on the
talk
radio
about getting left off the team, the national team?
I haven't seen all of it yet. I just saw the highlight of it was Steven Jackson saying, tell the truth, Pat didn't F with Geno, right? Like she didn't like it.
It's just Geno stood on the shoulders of Pat Summitt. Yes, he's won more games and more national championships. Congratulations. But there wouldn't have been a sport that he would have wanted to compete in if it hadn't been for Pat Summitt driving the team van and washing the uniforms and all the legendary stories that we were like, she did that. And again, this goes back to the conversation we had yesterday about Holly Rowe and some of the, old guard women's basketball national media types. They have a soft spot in their heart for Tennessee Lady Vol basketball, and it pains them to see us spinning our wheels the way we are. But I've always had a problem with Geno, and I don't think that's just looking at it through orange-flavored glasses either. I think that that's something that Dawn Staley, when she blew up at him, she was kind of speaking to that, to what Bob's saying. Geno has a reputation, not just here in Knoxville. He's an a-hole. And I mean, what kind of?
I mean, he's a petty, vindictive man.
What kind of man? Okay, the game is over. You're not going to fight with a woman at midcourt. You've said your piece. You obviously disagree. She's ready to shake hands. You're just going to take your ball and go home. You're just going to walk off the court and not even congratulate the players. The players that just beat you.
No, he's not.
You had an undefeated season, historic season, their first loss since they lost to us here in Knoxville last year, by the way. And you're mad that your historic season went up in smoke. And so you decide to take it out on her and her players. You're such a sore loser that you can't just shake the other team's hand. Hey, good job. Y'all took it to us.
I think
pretty much.
I think it's what goes around comes around too. I mean, where like what you said, he's like it or not, and she laid the groundwork, like you said, but he supplanted Pat as the, kind of the king.
Winningest coach.
Yeah, the winningest coach. I think he's seeing right in front of his very eyes, man. He's getting older. There's a changing of the guard going on, and it's Don's the person.
Well, and
there's Mulkey and Don, and then there's that gal out at obviously UCLA.
Well, look at the juxtaposition of the two UConn coaches in their losses, right? Both with multiple national championships. Geno showing his rear end for all to see and acting like a petulant, spoiled child. By the way, it's Dawn that releases the statement today.
Yeah.
Geno's still pouting in stores. And you juxtapose that with Danny Hurley, which, hey, plenty of people have plenty of things to say about him too. But, Geno blaming the refs, is a poorly officiated game. If I said the things to the refs that Dawn says to him, I'd be thrown out, blah, blah, blah. Danny Hurley had a whole hell of a lot more to complain about the officiating last night than Geno ever did, and was given the opportunity by the media and said, look, it's a physical game. We're playing physical. It is what it is. He said, if those three officials called every game that I coach, I'd be fine with that.
Yep.
Not making excuses, giving Dusty May and Michigan their flowers, taking the L like a man.
Kept his team on the court while Michigan celebrated for a minute and waited to do the handshake line, which I thought that's pretty solid, man. I mean,
yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't think they should. I don't know. I can't decide how I feel about the handshake line anymore.
You don't think we should shake hands?
Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a flashpoint in basketball and baseball. Football, they just kind of mill around and,
I mean, yeah, football is harder.
Yeah,
right?
but it's not nearly. I mean, it's a much more violent sport, but you very rarely, unless it's involving Miami.
I guess
and
if you have
Florida school,
if you have a specific problem in football, you can just sort of avoid that guy.
Yeah,
you go and congratulate the other coaches or whoever your friends are on the other team. You can just sort of avoid your ops, as the kids say, or basketball. Yeah, you got to look the guy in the eye and shake his hand.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a completely different sport. I mean, you might be matched up against somebody all night in basketball, and I don't know if it's more personal or
what do they do in college baseball? The winning team comes out and does their little handshake line.
There really isn't anything.
But is there after the series? Don't they have like after the third game? Don't the two teams do a handshake line
for what sport again? College baseball.
College baseball.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I mean, it's not Little League.
Do they do handshake line in the NBA?
No, but it's
guys
not,
will usually go
handshake
dap each
line,
other up.
but everyone goes and says, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
Good game, all that stuff. Like it's less formal.
And
the same thing happens in the NFL. Like after every single football game, you can go see the two coaches shake hands, and you can go see the two quarterbacks shake hands.
What's different in the NBA is if it's a 7-game series, like games 1 through whatever, games 1 through 4 or 1 through 6, depending upon how the series is playing out, there are no handshakes that go on. It's at the end of the series, whenever the series is decided. That's when
you talk about
the NBA.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
The NHL. I mean, that's a big thing. The handshake after the Stanley Cup. Thing.
Yeah,
that's a big tradition.
A few fights have ever broken out in those lines.
And even
I don't think so, because there's hockey is a weird sport in that, yes, it's much more belligerent than most other sports, but there's also a respect for the game, and the traditions of the sport is very much ingrained in the players from a young age.
Yeah, it feels like it's like a different type of respect that those guys have for each other in hockey compared to other sports.
Yeah, and to clarify on the NBA, it's not a handshake line. It's still, guys just get together at midcourt, hug it out, do all that stuff.
Good luck in the next round.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. I mean, just remember back in, if you were watching, I don't know if you guys were old enough to watch, or if you remember, I mean, in the 80s, the Pistons got killed for not doing it in the NBA when they walked off the court.
Yep.
At the time, I thought that was so low class and so low rent. As I've grown older, there's a dark part of me that I usually don't like to acknowledge that kind of respects the petty. But it gets to the heart of even this. Here's we're losing some traditions in America in our sport. I think it gets to, this is what I hear from fans when they talk about everything that we're discussing today around these basketball programs and all the players flipping over. And it's like, man, I grew up watching college sports, and Chris Lofton came into the program, and I watched him for 4 years. And now he comes back. Ron Slay comes back. Candace Parker, who played here. These players that you watch develop, and then they're just a part of your lore. You lose that. If this is the way it's going to be, if even Rick Barnes, proprietor of tradition, is going to say, you know what, I'm just going to flip my roster every year. I feel like our fan base is having a hard time today coming to grips. It's like, really? Even Coach Barnes is doing this now? On purpose? We all get that he's not running anybody off, but he's not begging or even expecting everybody to stay. He's fine with everybody leaving.
Yeah, I think only one of them, is just an unforced error.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they probably should have coughed it up for Amari.
But he's fine with what's going on. It's like, okay, so he's going to do this, and whoever comes in behind him is this is just what sports is now. We have a new roster every single year, kind of happening in baseball too, kind of happening in football too. This is not really what we grew up with.
No, but we're never going back there. And every day it just becomes more and more obvious. None of this is ever going to get better until they finally admit that there's going to be a classification of schools where these kids are going to be employees. Go ahead and collectively bargain with them, set rules, have contracts. So you don't have just this constant free agency and just
look. I hate to be the old man up on the porch and everything, but again, going back in my day, the olden times, I remember growing up in the 80s, right? And it was Reaganomics and that movie Wall Street, Gordon Gekko, remember?
Greed is good.
Yeah. He who dies with the most toys wins. And there was always kind of okay, if you want to do that, you can. It's a free country. But it was also, I think, most of society, left or right, whatever, kind of looked down on that. It's there's more to life. If you can go down that road, but there's going to be an emptiness. And it just feels like today in your sports, that's just baked into the cake. Everybody's like that. If you're not like that, you're stupid. Oh, what, you're going to be loyal to your school? You value your education over grabbing the quick buck?
Well, it's not about education anymore.
No.
But the problem is that it just, there's too much money in it. I mean, NCAA just took home over, it's multiple billions of dollars just from the tournament. I think it's over $2 billion.
I mean, I would how many of these guys that are going to make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million next year playing college basketball are going to have that, 10 years from now, they're in their mid-30s or everything. Because we say oh man, if you can get $4 million to go play at wherever next year, then you got to go and do that. You have to do that, right? Do you have to do that?
It depends on your situation.
Is there
You grew up dirt poor. Yeah, you have to take it.
Dude, really, you have to take it. Like, okay, because there are guys who grew up dirt poor that go play in the NBA, get even the second contract and end up broke anyway. Yeah. And it's like, wouldn't you be better off? You could still play basketball, develop your game, and chase a professional career, but you're also like, you have a chance to develop some other skills too that could be marketable once that career is done. And oh, by the way, you're going to squander your money because of all the things Odell Beckham said that we made fun of a month or so ago on that podcast about not being able to make it on $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta, you have to offer all these kids, financial planning advice and hope that they make good decisions.
Yeah, they're not, unfortunately. And what's left for us, the fan? People will complain about this and they don't like that the roster flips every year and they don't get to, know their favorite players and everything anymore. But the ratings have never been higher. The tickets are still sold out for most SEC college football programs. And people still like to go and tailgate and have a good time and watch their favorite team. Is that bubble ever going to burst? I don't know. It feels like it will, but it also feels like it isn't anytime soon. So enjoy your $14 beer at the ball game tonight. Quick timeout. It's The Drive on Fan Run Radio. Back with more right after this.
The Drive. Tony Basilio, the official voice of the common fan, is now on Fan Run Radio. Fan Run Radio. Tony Basilio, weekdays from 11 to 1. Be there.
Since the 1960s.
Chat, JCart29 says, CeeLo quoted Tony White and said, quote, these cats want $1 to $2 million, averaging 4 points a game. So true. Shows the insanity of where we are like the ninth guy off the bench wanting millions. That's from JCart29 on the YouTube chat. I did see that Chris Lowe tweet from earlier about Tony White, and
he said he'd be making
he
guys
said,
averaging 4 points a game, asking for $2 million. I averaged 24. God, he was good.
Yeah, what do you think the Tony Whites and Allen Houstons and Chris Loftons of the world, who could not get paid at great penalty to their career, they would come down. This is back in the days when that was very much frowned upon. Those guys who played for scholarship and whatever they were able to get in the way of $100 handshake here or there, what do they think of Amari Evans, who did not start for Tennessee this year, going into the portal asking for millions of dollars?
He asked for two, to be precise.
$2 million is what Amari wanted.
And I think they probably should have just gone ahead and bit the bullet and coughed it up for him. But I don't know. I've talked to like a couple of like former football players. It's interesting. One of them, like, I don't even bring it up to him. Like, he gets mad. Like, he thinks it's ridiculous that the players are getting paid this much. And the other one, who's his best friend, is like, more power to him. I wish we could have gotten it, but I don't begrudge him.
What do you think? Bear says we should have just given Amari Evans $2 million.
I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm not entirely opposed to it now. But
the thing is, like, Amari Evans, if you want to be in a Final Four next year, which feels like that's the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Amari Evans in that scenario has to be what? Your third best player? Fourth? Certainly not
For
your
$2
first
million.
or second.
Well, no.
So what does that mean? You're going to be paying two, probably three guys more than $2 million, which is
based on what we know about him now. As a
you
player.
get through your budget pretty quickly if you're going to go that route. Doesn't leave a lot left over for the 5 through 12 spots on your roster.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Here's what's coloring it for me is I'm thinking about the mid-state missile. What was it? Because they ended up at Miami.
Jacoby Thomas.
And we probably, hindsight being 2020, we would have been a lot better off if Hype in the back end of our defense, if Hype would just, been a little, just gone ahead and just bit the bullet and paid him last year.
Richard G. West of RG News reports talks are happening behind closed doors this week in efforts to retain Nate Ament. Sources say that he's 50-50 on if he goes to the draft or not this year. That's Richard G. West. Breaking news this afternoon.
No chance that kid coming.
I would just say trust. Look, we heard what Polinsky said last week. I heard it last night from another. Let's just say trust our coaching staff. The position is he's going. He's gone. I mean, this was a post from Ryan Sylvia over the weekend.
Dream is over.
The projections now are by and large. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's slipping. But between Bleacher Report, Yahoo, Tankathon, CBS Sports, ESPN, The Athletic, and SI, he's ranging anywhere from pick number 8 to pick number 12. By the way, the 12th pick is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, how cool would that be?
That'd be pretty nice. Be a lot of Thunder fans in Knoxville.
I mean, I think Coach Barnes and the staff are operating in the mindset of it'd be fantastic if he stayed, but he's not staying. So we got to operate as if he's not coming back. And
what'd you say? The dream is done, Russell?
Yes. Wasn't that a Who song?
No, Comfortably Numb. Dream is done. The child is grown.
Oh, yeah, that one too. I have become comfortably numb. You ever heard The Wall by Pink Floyd, Walker?
Probably. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
The whole two double album set.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
No,
you started at song 1 and then you just
you and your friends at Webb, you never sat in a smoke-filled garage and with the boombox and the lava lamp going and listen to a little Pink Floyd?
No, not Pink Floyd.
Chainsmokers?
No, not Chainsmokers.
Dark Side of the Moon?
No, don't think so.
You've never heard Dark Side of the Moon, start to finish?
Not start to finish, no.
Oh, wow.
You ever
Kids
done
these
Dark
days.
Side of Oz? Where you play
Kids
the
these
record
days.
with
No.
the Wizard of Oz?
No.
Weren't you surprised at how short the album was when you're watching? You're like, the album's over. The movie just began.
Yeah.
I never made it through all the way through the Wizard of Oz. Ever.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
I had to leave the room at certain points when I was a little kid. I was scared of the flying monkeys. I'll admit it. They were terrifying. to
lots
me.
of people were. My brother-in-law famously
My
was.
sister and my brothers would
the
tell me if the flying
monkeys.
monkeys were gone. Then
Terrified
my sister,
kids.
who was, at that time, I thought kind of evil. Like she would tell me, yeah, they were gone. I'd come back in, they'd be sitting there.
Kicked in the Vols on Twitter says, I trust Richard G. Take your sources, Baskerville and GTFO. We've got Richard G. West telling us Nate Amon's coming back for year 2.
Hey,
We're riding.
Ride that wave, man. Good for you.
He had an incredible one about Holly Rowe. Because when I was looking up Holly Rowe, it pulled up this tweet of his from like 3 years ago about her. ESPN and Holly have filed charges against Kentucky coach John Calipari for his inappropriate touching of Rowe during the halftime interview. Do you remember that?
No.
Bruce, no, that
He's
wasn't
Italian.
Holly Rowe, dude. Come on. What are you
I'm
doing?
reading that damn Richard G. West tweet. So I told you.
Pretty good. But you're buying into it.
I'm not buying into it. I'm saying this is the same guy. You think he's coming back?
It
It's
was
Richard G.
It was Aaron Andrews that he, some would say, inappropriately
He's Italian.
touched.
What do you want him to do?
Bruce Pearl's Italian?
You said, was it not Calipari we're talking about, or is it Bruce
No.
Pearl? Oh, no, Bruce
What
Pearl's
is
not Italian.
happening over on that side of the glass that you guys can't listen to the show?
I was
you
listening
don't
to Bear.
listen.
I don't listen?
No.
You are telling me that I don't listen to the show?
Sometimes you don't.
Wow.
You wow you want, man. You don't sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Coming up in hour number 3 of the drive, Fan Run Radio. You know, there's an audience to this show, right? There are people who listen to the show.
Absolutely.
I don't think you do. I don't think you know what we do here. Hour number 3 of the show coming up. Stay with us. More Fan Run Radio on the other side.
The Drive. Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies, acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app, and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
It's time for the Drive's Top 5 at 5.
Hour number 3 of the Drive underway, Fan Run Radio. Top 5 at 5, brought to you this afternoon by our friends at Knoxville Smiles. Walker Smith, what you got?
At number 1, freshman Amari Evans, junior Jalen Carey, and freshman Troy Henderson announced in the last 24 hours that they will be entering the transfer portal. Those three joined J.P. Estrella, Bishop Boswell, and Clarence Masamba in the portal, with Tyler Lundblade as the lone incoming transfer commit right now for Rick Barnes. Freshman Dwayne Brown announced today also that he is returning to the Vols.
Imagine getting in Doc Brown's DeLorean and going back to 1932 and telling General Neeland, who was probably still like Colonel Neeland at that time or whatever, that there would come a day when a player is going to announce that he's coming back to the football team next year, the baseball team, basketball team, whatever.
Probably wouldn't have believed you.
They're getting paid?
They're getting paid?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What exactly is a transfer?
What does that mean?
Well, there was no money in it.
No.
There was gate money back then.
Ticket money, concession money, classic stuff. By the way, to go on, we didn't have time for it earlier, but the conversation about wanting to keep the younger guys and all that stuff, there was a pretty good stat going around the internet since the national championship last night. There's only been one starter to win a national championship before turning 20 years old since 2020.
Interesting.
It was Stephon Castle for UConn. It's the only one, only starter.
It's an old man's game.
I mean, Yaxel Linderborg is going on 30.
Yeah. Now that's very interesting as well. And, a lot of the guys that we're targeting, obviously, Lundblade is going to be a fifth-year guy. The kid from Troy, I believe, is at least a third, if not a fourth-year player.
Yeah.
Duke Harris is third year.
He's got 2 years eligibility.
So it'll be his third year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Older is better, bigger, stronger, more experienced.
Yep.
Generally beats youth and inexperience.
A little bit. At number 2, Tennessee baseball's midweek matchup tonight has the Vols taking on Northern Kentucky at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. First pitch is at 6 p.m. and is showing on the SEC Network Plus. Ethan Bayoto is starting on the mound.
We worry about, certainly there's going to be a drop-off in intensity in the fan base if the team continues to struggle What about a drop-off in attendance at sparkling new Lindsey Nelson Stadium? By the way, Walker, we did not discuss. I thought I was living large in the box, the new upper deck tower Saturday night. I sent a picture to the group, hanging on the rim a little bit. Look at me up with the beautiful people. And Walker responds, "Yeah, that's real nice, Russ." Meanwhile, down here in the MVP club, my man is on the first row, right next to the Tennessee dugout.
It was pretty nice. It was given to us by a very good friend of my dad's who he plays golf with. It was I'd never sat that close to in a baseball game before. It was pretty cool. And it was also fun to see a little bit of back and forth between the ump and the coaches.
Yeah, here's some creative uses of the F word.
A little bit, some of that. It's kind of where I got to like my real first look at Appenzeller because I really hadn't focused and watched him pitch. And then when he came out for that Saturday game, like he's got some stuff to him on the mound. Like that's where I'm like he's talking to himself in between every
got
pitch.
Some fire, yeah.
He
struck out Derek Curiel once to end an inning and kind of told him about it on the way off.
He said go back to the dugout. It was pretty. That stuff was awesome. Tegan Kuntz too is kind of like that. We struggled a little bit, but he's got a little bit of that to him when he's going. But it was really cool.
Creative uses of the F word. Figured you'd hear some of those back in there. The production room.
Production room?
Well, yeah.
Trained professionals back there, Bob. They're not going to curse on the air. This is a voluntary reaction.
I won't curse on
Look at the one dude over there.
He's dialed in. Yeah. Go ahead, Walker.
At number 3, Kim Caldwell is beginning to put the pieces back together today. She completed her coaching staff again after hiring Isakin Uzamire from Georgia. And the Lady Vols are also hosting transfers, including Liberty guard Avery Mills and NAU's guard Naomi White.
Okay. I saw a whole list of players I think Austin Price had that they're recruiting. But, yeah, a couple of NC State players.
Got to start somewhere.
I can't remember if there are any SEC players on that list. But, yeah, I mean,
start somewhere.
You need at least a dozen. At least.
You need a starting 5.
You can have up
minimum.
to 15. You need it. You've got one. You do the math.
You need at least 5 more to really put something on the court.
Yes, you literally need 5 more. Then you have 5 that you can play with and a bench of 1.
Imagine you can fill out a bench if you can even get that many players to show up.
Hey, was it Siena? They almost beat Duke with no bench.
Yeah, they played 5 guys, 40 minutes. But let's just do that.
That's our new strategy.
Let's just play everyone 40 minutes. Why not? At number 4, the Masters released their featured groups for the first round at Augusta National on Thursday earlier today. First up will be Bryson DeChambeau, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Xander Schauffele at 10:07 a.m. Next will be the reigning champion Rory McIlroy, Cam Young, and Mason Howell at 10:30, followed by Ludwig Oberg, John Rahm, and Chris Gotterup at 1:08. And the last featured group at 1:45 is Scotty Scheffler, Robert McIntyre, and Gary Woodland.
Do they still have the honorary starters, Jack and Gary Player?
I'm sure that those guys will be there. Someone will start them off. I hope it's those guys.
I love that, but it's like there's still the morning mist and dew on the. Here's some old geezer like hunched over with his wooden driver, like knocking it 20 yards down the fairway. One of those guys is going to die doing that one of these years.
There was
and what a way to go.
There was like a 60-plus-year-old that almost made the cut at the Masters last year. I'm trying to remember who it was. I'll have to think about it later. But
there's still hope for Tiger.
It's not this year. But
I mean, Freddie Couples, it's well known. Usually he misses the cut, but usually his first
day is
his first 27 holes are usually
unbelievable. Be on the leaderboard.
Yeah, he's right there, and then he just runs out.
His back stiffens up.
Yeah.
That's happened to a bunch of those guys. Was it Jim Furyk? That weird swing that guy had.
I mean, you talk about a beautiful golf swing and unbeautiful golf swing, like Freddie Couples and Jim Furyk, two opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Did some kind of, I don't know, it was weird.
It worked for him.
Yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works. It works. If it works, it works. Par 3 contest is tomorrow to wet your beak a little bit before the main event Thursday. I'm so excited. I can't wait for the golf.
It reminds me it's about time to go ahead and renew my annual request for Masters tickets so I can get turned down here in a few weeks.
True. Those will be out shortly after this tournament's done.
I saw where the J Train, Jabari, is apparently. He was down there yesterday for Masters Monday. It's on social media.
Cool.
Bob, have you been to the Masters?
No, I have not.
You entered the thing like Russ does?
No, I haven't. But it's on the bucket list.
Have you been offered a chance to go?
There was one time I had a chance to go, and it wouldn't have. It was complicated. I was working full time, and just couldn't make it happen. And I wish I had, because it's never presented itself ever again. So,
you know where Jim Furyk played his college golf, Walker?
Is he a Sun Devil?
Close.
Is he
Wildcat?
Is he a
He can't even say
Wildcat?
it. He says it begrudgingly. Yes. University of Arizona.
I think it was Bernhard Langer.
Hate it for him.
Tigers were over just sent in Bernhard Langer. Maybe he was the guy.
Yeah,
who
it was
played well
Bernhard
last year.
Langer. He missed a putt on 18 to make a cut. That's right. That was pretty cool.
He was good back in the 80s.
Oh,
He won it once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a champion.
Bernhard.
That's why he's playing in it.
Big Scorpions fan.
Yeah.
Scorpions.
Who isn't?
Bernhard Langer.
And at number 5, authorities in British Columbia urged people to stay away from a rock face above a highway in the Canadian province where a red Volkswagen Beetle shell was suspended in an apparent prank by engineering students. The car shell appeared on the rock face above Highway 99 in British Columbia last week with a large E on its roof, indicating the University of British Columbia engineering students were carrying on a tradition of placing beetle shells in difficult locations. In 2009, a beetle fell from the Ironworks Memorial Bridge, and Vancouver police arrested 5 students in a failed attempt to suspend from the span.
By shell, is it just basically the body?
Yeah, it's the body.
Nothing else?
No, not the engine or the wheels. They just take the body off of it and put it in
Still,
weird
I would
places.
imagine pretty heavy. You wouldn't want it landing on you.
No.
You ever ridden in a Beetle, Bob?
My sister had one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a good car.
Actually drove it a couple times.
I had a friend in high school who had his parents had given him the Volkswagen Beetle, the bus.
Yeah, the microbus.
And there was the old 1960s bus.
Yeah, they were called the VW microbus. Yeah.
And in the passenger seat, this thing was so old and rickety, the floor in the passenger seat, there was a hole in it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because what they made the floor of those things pretty susceptible to rust.
Evidently.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good car, though. Thank you, Walker.
No problem.
That is the top 5 at 5. It's brought to you by Knoxville Smiles. It's where I go for all my dental work. It's where you should go as well. Check out Knoxville Smiles online at knoxvillesmiles.com. You can also call them at 865-539-1776. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles. We'll go open lines the rest of the way. If you want to jump in, 865-966-3435, 966-3435. Obviously, a lot of portal talk today. Again, I imagine we'll be talking about this for the foreseeable future. If you've got any thoughts on that, we'd love to hear from you. The Chaz Coleman thing. Ryan Shumpert declined to get into it with us. Spring practice. We got the orange and white game Saturday. There's zero buzz around Tennessee football right now.
So much else going on.
I guess so.
I mean, is there any buzz around college football at all right now?
No, it's just you got the end
it's
of
a good
March
question.
Madness.
I don't know how it is in other markets. I would imagine that they're pretty fired up about it in Georgia, pretty fired up about it in Michigan, Ohio State, wherever. But yeah, it's not. I still can't get over the fact that we can't stream the game, and we weren't able to last year either. But it's like you want to. I would tune in for a couple of series anyway. I'm interested to see the quarterbacks throw it a little. Yeah, I know it's not going to be hyper competitive, but whatever. Anyway, it's not going to happen. The story this week is about Chaz Coleman, Tennessee's star defensive end. We get him out of the portal from Penn State. Super prospect. Ohio State wanted him. We win a bidding war. Okay, we lose all our guys. Josh Josephs graduates. Jordan Ross goes to LSU. Caleb Herring transfers. Emmanuel Okoye transfers. We have nothing, so we have to restart. What a great way to start with the number one defensive overall guy in the portal. You bring in the kid from Tulane behind him, and you got Christian Gass coming back after a red shirt. All of a sudden, okay, not
solid.
Yeah, you've got some depth there. Bob, it sounds like this guy is like just declining to attend practice. Like what's going on? Is he having an actual legitimate health issue?
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of chatter out there. Like the one I've heard is that he might be suffering from vertigo, and that's why he can't practice. But I don't know.
Seems awfully convenient.
Vertigo, like the old Jimmy Stewart movie, or was that Cary Grant? What is vertigo? That's where you're afraid of heights.
No, vertigo is where has something to do with your inner ear, right? I don't know. You lose your balance, like.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
No.
We want to hear Dr. Bear explain what vertigo is. You're not gonna what? The Doogie Howser music comes on, and all of a sudden, your integrity as a fake doctor is called into question, and
So,
well, that's not good.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard, there's other rumors around town. I mean, TV was saying something about cupcakes. I don't know on his show.
Cupcakes.
Yeah, he was upset about cupcakes on his visit. And supposedly things didn't go great.
Cupcakes?
Yeah, according to Mrs. All
on his visit. Like we already got him. What are we talking about his visit for?
Oh, yeah, because apparently he acted kind of weird on his visit.
He wanted cupcakes on his visit.
It was, I don't know. I was driving. I was trying to listen, and it was, one of those crazy Tony things where it was like, really?
So now
and apparently he had a bad visit with Ohio State, and then we landed the kid, and he's just, I don't know.
Can we not get one of these defensive players that actually goes to practice?
Xavier Gilliam's really good.
I've heard that.
He's really good.
No, there's been great feedback on all the other Penn State guys. The Nittany, the Nittany 4, Nittany 5, all the other guys, DeJuan Lane, Amari Campbell, Xavier Gilliam, all the feedback on them it's been all roses.
But this is the one, analytically, the most important positions on the field, quarterback and those who affect the quarterback. You've got Chaz Coleman, we were counting on him to be our guy who gets after the quarterback.
Well, supposedly, I think we found who they're going to be pushing is having a great spring on defense.
Oh, I saw one of them.
Yeah, Farouk.
Yeah, apparently Farouk has looked really good.
I'll buy that. I don't. That doesn't surprise me necessarily. There's a reason that he played a lot as a sophomore. right? And he had his moments, certainly room for improvement, but he had his moments as well.
But it just goes to the bigger picture. You know, we probably wouldn't have seen him back in the day as a sophomore. He probably wouldn't have seen the field. And that was back when, you know, kids stayed at a school for 3 or 4 years. And, you know, by their 4th year, they can come on and be really good. And you just don't see that much anymore because of the portal and NIL. Nobody sticks around to develop.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, what do you do? Are we going to play games with him? Like we decided to play Boo Carter's game last year, and it really wasn't worth it in hindsight. And if you had to do it, you just kick him off the team.
Should have listened to your team leaders.
We don't need to bring – this is not – I don't think this is a Boo Carter type of deal.
That kind of sounds like it might be.
Well, Boo Carter was like literally on the other side of the country during certain workouts, whereas apparently – you're right. Chaz Coleman is here. He's having vertigo problems.
He's claiming to have vertigo problems. I don't know.
If you listen between the lines, you read between the lines, some of the reports, the rumors we're hearing, it feels like the coaches are not fully convinced that his problems, even if they are real, are the problems that should keep him away from the practice field. It sounds like the young man's work ethic and commitment are being called into question. Is that fair to say?
That's the gist of what the speculation I've heard.
So we're obviously paying this kid a lot of money.
He's probably one of the higher paid guys on the defense.
My question is it worth it to just sort of put up with his nonsense, or should you just go ahead and cut bait right now while you can?
I think it's a fair question. The guy hasn't played a single snap for us so far. By the way, Commissioner Bockwinkel reminds us that Vertigo was a banger song by U2.
Oh, I hated that song.
I know.
It's terrible.
I'm not a fan of it either.
Yeah. That song is the moment where U2 jumped the shark for me. I know some people,
I hated that song.
Some people never liked him to begin with. But for me, that was where it's like, yeah, I'm good here. Seinfeld getting up out of
Vertigo's also, I feel like, one of those things, like, it's hard to prove that somebody does or does not. It's a very convenient. That's all I'll say. It seems like it would be a very convenient thing to say.
Kind of like sciatica.
Yeah.
Right? You feel me on that?
Yeah, somewhat. But you can kind of tell. It's harder to like if somebody really has it bad, it's one of those things where it becomes obvious, I feel like. Been my experience. But, I mean, how do you know if somebody's really got vertigo?
I know.
There's no test for it.
By the way, I got to give a shout out to Volpool. Pretty good post on the live chat. We're talking about cupcakes with Chaz Coleman. He said a bad cupcake can be a deal breaker. If Ohio State knows anything, it's cupcakes.
I mean, yeah.
I don't really get it, but
there's cupcake schedule.
It's cupcake schedule.
It's good.
It's nice.
865-966-3435, your phone number to get on the show this afternoon, 966-3435. What's next? Do we need a break?
Yeah. Let's take a quick break.
Let's take a quick break. We will come back and get to these phone calls when we continue next here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Done you a solid, and I've spoken to the rules committee today about your all's inability to win baseball games unless Appenzeller comes in relief. And I have got it approved where you guys are going to be allowed to play Little League rules, 6 innings only, if Appenzeller cannot come in relief. And I was watching the game.
That was a good
Sunday.
one, though, right? I'm glad you waited on hold.
A long time, Randy.
The delivery was spot on, too. Nailed it. Got us.
Wait, was he talking?
You had Engelberg playing first base for LSU. It was like watching the Bad News Bears.
That's a good pull. I think only the old heads would know it, but
No idea who that is. Not a clue.
And the guy making all these errors, but I don't know why you guys were so upset. They literally hit 7 home runs, and what had Aaron Beatty hit 4. So you were lucky to even be in the game, at all.
I'm glad that our baseball. I'm glad you are watching all our baseball games. I mean, it's wild that Tony Vitello's gone and Tennessee baseball still lives rent free in your head. Vandy folks are ate up with some Tennessee baseball now.
And I've got one other bone to pick with you. This guy that keeps calling in and slamming me because he can't handle the truth about the Volunteers. I just don't shoot the messenger. I believe his name is Dumberto. Calls in and slams me because he can't handle the truth.
We can't condone caller-on-caller violence.
No, we can't condone that.
Might need to take that up with him.
Can we hold right there, Vandy Randy? Let's bring in. We've actually got Dumberto, as you called him, on hold. Roberto, are you there?
I mean, yeah, but I don't really want to waste my time with a Vandy fan.
Hold on, I want
to. He has to call our station.
I want to see if he's man enough.
Is he in his mom's basement right now, listening?
I'm in my mom's basement. Come over and we'll compare incomes anytime you want. Go ahead, big boy. Anytime you want.
Well, I hear you bragging about you flying on a plane or what. I hear you bragging all the time.
I'm bragging about flying commercial on a plane because my father-in-law is dying of cancer. Yeah, you're real cool. Keep talking. Shut up. Go find another station.
No, you shut up, loser.
All right, Randy. I believe we're going to let you.
You sound like an idiot.
Thank you, Randy. We appreciate it. Have a nice day. Wow. Sorry, Roberto. I just wanted to give him a chance. Like he called you out. Like, I don't want to be the middleman here. I'll let him do his own thing.
Hold on. I get Roberto back in here.
Talking.
You're back.
You're back, Roberto.
That's
a good go-to.
Solid call, buddy. Keep it up.
That guy's
He's
a
Vandy
sidewalk
fan,
alumni.
Clearly not a Vandy graduate.
Sidewalk alumni.
I think that pissed me off that time. Called me out for going on a plane like every other person in the world who goes to see their dying relative.
What are you, some kind of fancy time traveler there on your airplane?
Fancy guy that sits in the back of the plane because you got 3 kids with you, huh?
It's like
you're
taking
some
the
kind
bus.
of fancy guy, dude. George Plaster has a show. You know that. You can call that Vandy Randy.
Where's
Don't
the fun
talk all
in
the
that
Vandy you
for?
want.
Hey, you're having fun on there on that Delta flight there, Rockefeller?
Yeah, me and my Velo flight that I had to drive to Nashville to take. Yeah. Anyways. Sorry, that actually really did piss me off, guys. I apologize. I shouldn't have walked it that much.
Maybe we shouldn't have put you in that position. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Kind of have a rough week.
I'm sorry.
Guys, so I did want to talk about that moribund baseball team that Vandy Randy's referencing. I don't disagree with him. We stink. I mean, I was actually going to agree with him until he started acting a fool.
Kind of hard to talk trash when you're 4-12 in the league, whatever we are.
I'm not like I don't talk trash about Tennessee baseball or what he's saying. He's not wrong. We're not very good.
No.
I just talk trash because he can't conjugate a damn verb. Like it's.
Hey, don't kick us when we're down, Ray. Like we realize that we suck. Okay, ain't nobody in Big Orange Nation beating their chest this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not. I was actually calling in to say, man, this seems like it's gone off the rails this week.
Yeah.
Like
we're back to just don't get swept. Somebody said that on the chat.
Oh God,
we're
not
back
that.
to Rusty Enzers.
Yeah,
just don't get swept. That's where we are. Well, I mean,
maybe try to make the SEC tournament. Only 2 teams don't, right?
We got the long-haired Italian in that dugout. We're coming to your city. Hide your wives and kids. We're coming to burn down your stadium. And now it's like, gee, maybe we can steal one. Don't get swept.
I mean, I like Josh Elander. I do. I admit that. I'm
pulling for him, man.
I've said what I said.
Pulling
I've
for
said
him.
what I said. I like him. And I want him to win because him winning means our success, right?
Yes.
But have we just held up to the council of elders? And I'm going to hold this out and then I'll leave. And thanks, guys. I'm sorry I got so worked up. I really did get worked up, though, and that's not like me.
I like it.
I
wish I wish that our dugout would get that worked up over baseball. That's what I want. Is some passion in this thing, Roberto. Where's the passion, man?
Maybe we need a dad or a father-in-law dying of cancer, and then somebody can get worked up.
Hey, man, I hope it goes well for you. Did you watch?
Well,
Did you watch the
so
games?
We'll just leave it. It's not great.
Did you watch any of the games this weekend?
I did. I watched them all actually, except for the one inning where we gave up 10 runs because I was on a plane by then.
So that Friday night
that
game,
plane
right?
That I was flying in last class to make sure that I got home so that I could work my job on a Monday.
So that Friday night game, it's the bottom of the ninth. We're down a run or two after we've blown it. And we get that horrible strike 3 call on Reese Chapman.
Yeah.
And he just sort of trudges back to the dugout. Like, I want to see our guy Elander come out there the way Jay Johnson did in the bottom ninth of the game 3 and give that ump a piece of it. The fan base would go crazy, even if we don't come back and win that game. Hey, you stood up and fought for us, man. You acted like you gave a damn. That's all we want.
Yes.
We don't have to win every game. We just want somebody who's going to fight for us.
Well, that was what Tony did his first 3 years. We sucked. Until 2020, we were not good. Not good. But we knew if you're a baseball guy like me, you were following it, even if you were following it kind of on the periphery, and you're going, hey, man, this guy kind of has something. It kind of whatever that thing is, you know it. And I just hold up to council elders this, and I'm going to leave. Is Josh Ewan just unlucky? Is he just kind of cursed? Because, I mean, we've been winning 5 of the 6 losses we have in the last like 8 games. We've been winning late, like 7th inning and on. Are we just kind of cursed? Can he not finish? I know the bullpen kind of stinks, but you got to kind of figure that out. You got to cobble something together, especially when you're up 4 or 5 runs. And I'll leave you at that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Roberto. Appreciate the phone call. I don't really believe in luck in sports. I think you make your own luck. I mean, every now and then something happens that's lucky, or the ball bounces your way. Like, I get that. Yes, that stuff absolutely happens. There is an element of chance to sports. But as far as like, I don't believe that there's just a cursed individual or school or something. I believe that you can make bad decisions that lead you to being looked at as unlucky. Or you just, in Elander's position, you just might lack a general charisma that your predecessor might have had that leads to different results. You know, guys play a little bit harder for one guy than they do another guy.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly there's a lack of experience with Elander. It's his first year doing this.
Yeah, and we've said, I mean, there's decisions towards the end of games that are questionable, and he's done a lot of tinkering, especially in the last couple weeks with the lineup. Like, he's trying new things and trying to figure out what works. But, I mean, I'm kind of in the same line with you where, like, you don't want to have to be in a position to where you're hoping to get lucky to win a game. Like, it's the decisions and the way you play early to stay out of positions where you're relying on the ball bouncing your way to win a game.
That Frederick kid from Bearden, the Krenzel kid, Bo Rudy, these are guys that other schools wanted. These are guys that are on professional baseball draft radars. These are guys that they're in their heads. They lack in confidence. What did Tony always say? You pitch with conviction. And I don't see a lot of that going on right now. Krenzel especially, like when that poor kid comes in, you could just see in his head, it's like, oh God, I don't know where it's going, but I know it ain't going in the strike zone. Probably in that hitter's ear hole.
Yeah, it's not good.
And like,
hit a lot of batters.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where you miss Frank. That's where Josh Reynolds comes in. He's the pitching coach. That's where Elander comes in. He's the head coach.
Yeah, I remember when this goes back to basketball. Remember the early part of the season when we were all kind of up in arms about Nate Ament, saying, what is going on? But we had to keep reminding ourselves what you just said, Russ. Like, hey, Duke and other schools they weren't in on Nate Ament because he wasn't any good. It's like, some of it was he was adjusting. I don't know. It's like, how do you get out of some of this? Some of it's just in the head right now in between the years, because these guys are all talented. Feels like they're just not.
They've been recruiting at an incredibly high level.
Right. It's just not. It's not happening right now, and that's unfortunate. And you do wonder at what point do you hold the coach culpable for some of that? How do you get them out of that?
And I do think Roberto. I think you said you didn't believe in it, but I mean, he's kind of a snake. He's got a snake bit. I mean, he's had some pretty bad luck right now.
Yeah, there's some of that.
I mean, there's a couple of wins that's just inches, a matter of inches. One ball goes over and just fate, whatever you want.
Never comes down to one play, man.
No,
it never comes down to one play. There's other things you can do to win a game.
No, it's not about that play going against you, because that's the headline, is the last play that goes against you. It's like, oh, man, if they didn't rob that home run, we would have won. Well, what if you make decisions in the 3rd or 4th inning or in the 6th and 7th inning to where you aren't even in that position in the first place?
Let's get Joshy Boy in here next. Hello, Josh.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are we doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. So I will start off by saying this. The only player that I'm kind of disappointed that hit the portal was Amari Evans. I thought he had pretty high upside.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dashi. That was the one we talked about it last week here, saying who if we had to choose between JP Estrella and Amari Evans, we were all saying
stings.
We need Evans.
It stings, Joshy boy.
And is it true he's going to be asking for $2 or $3 million? Is what I heard.
He asked for 2, is what I've heard from my sources. Which again, you know, they were trying. They were trying to negotiate with him, but has a pretty demanding agent, and family had some expectations. There's just a lot of intangibles, man. That's
Could you see him going back home to Pittsburgh?
I think he's going to go somewhere bigger than that. I mean,
Kansas.
That's one of the rumors, but yeah, it just seems
Kansas, Indiana, and I can't remember
playing for. Yeah.
So, what do we think on the list of portal targets that William Pattison listed? Do we think we have a good chance of winning half of those guys?
I have to pull that up. I saw that tweet earlier. Billy Playbook is killing it right now with his coverage of the portal and all that stuff.
I got the list for you. So targets are Colby Garland out of San Jose State, and this is all according to William. Joel Foxwell out of Portland. Wing Juke Harris out of Wake Forest. Bryson Tiller from Kansas. Najee Hines out of Seton Hall. Emmett Adair out of Loyola. And Matt Mobile.
Is Emmett Adair related to Emmett Otter? Just asking.
And that doesn't include
Thomas Dowd. He has a high confidence target.
So let's pretend for a second that we've got Dowd and we've got Lundblade. Obviously, you're going to get a point guard. That has to be priority number one, as Shump said earlier. I like the list. I mean, we're not going to get the list is going to expand. I mean, that was 7 or 8 guys. There's going to be 20 names that we hear by the end of the week.
And it's a
I would love. Go ahead, Bob.
It's a 2-week process too, by the way. I mean, this is not just because it's open.
Buckle up.
Yeah, this will not.
I would love
resolved.
to have the Tiller kid from Kansas.
Sure,
for sure. Yeah.
What's his story?
6'10". I think he was either a freshman or a sophomore at Kansas. He played well against us in the Players era game. He's not Flory Badunga, but he's also not $5 million either.
No, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a really good player.
Yeah. So what do we think about, we haven't heard anything yet that Nate is declaring. Is there a possibility that he can maybe come back to Tennessee for his sophomore season?
You must not have heard us talking about this, Josh. Yeah, I just talked about it a couple of segments ago. No worries. Gotcha. But we heard it last week from Polinsky. I've heard it from someone else on the staff too. Nate's, unless there is a shocking turn of events in NBA projections, he's going in the lottery. That's where he's projecting, and that's he's not coming back.
Let him go, Joshy boy. Yeah. Let him go.
Yeah, let him go. Wishful thinking.
Yeah,
have a good day, guys.
Yeah, we'd love it, but he's
we just dashed Joshy boy's dreams. He's like, if I can't have Nate, I don't even want to be on this show anymore. I'm going to go fashion a noose.
Wow.
Hang in there, Joshy boy. You got a lot to live for.
Choice of words.
Bryson Tiller, he's 20. He'll be 21 in November. 6'11", 240-pounder. He played in the overtime elite thing, like Amari. So this will be like his 3rd season at least out of high school. So he's got some of that age and experience that we talked about. That number blows me away, Walker, that there's only been one player
starter.
One starter.
One starter that is under the age of 20 that has won a national championship since 2020.
You need grown men.
You do.
There's pre and post.
You need guys.
This is not an amateur's game anymore.
Not since the advent of super seniors after COVID.
Isn't that over?
Yeah, but I mean that was one of the things that how we got here. Everybody realized the obvious that, if you have a bunch of veteran dudes that played a lot of college basketball, it's better.
I don't know. It's better for you and your team. I don't know if it's better for the sport.
Oh, no, it's not.
I think it's probably pretty bad for the sport, unfortunately. But that's where we are. Volpool says, no, Vandy Randy. Roberto's in your mom's basement. J Cart says, Vandy Randy has to smell. Oh, I can't say that.
No,
you can't.
Can't
Smell like Fritos? Is that what it says?
Gecko Master 25 says, Vandy fans are wild, have one good year in the entire school history.
Volpool also said, wouldn't it be sweet? Can't wait to take Candy Randy's point guard. God, what if that happens? That would be.
Let's do it.
That'd be lovely.
Let's go all in on Tyler Tanner and Tanner Tyler.
Tanner Tyler.
I remember yesterday we were having that conversation about like, okay, if you've got Boswell, Estrella, and Evans as your core, you just go out and you do whatever you can to buy Tyler Tanner away from Vanderbilt, and you plug in maybe Thomas Dowd at the power forward, and let's go run it back. Let's see how far that can take us. Lundblade, and here we are.
Wow.
Yeah, we got nothing.
Yeah.
We got nothing. Well, we got Lundblade. It's a good start.
Debo.
We got Debo.
I like Debo.
We don't really do we want to start Debo at 5 next year?
Not at the 5, no.
He's got those long arms.
I mean, he could play like some spells.
What does he have, like 7'2" wingspan?
Yeah.
Get him in the gym, sturdy him up a little bit.
Just seeing more and more 7-foot dudes. That's all. That's the only problem.
This is a return to the bigs.
Yeah.
Everything's cyclical, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Stay with us. The shocking conclusion of the drive coming up next. Fan Run Radio. Back with more right after this.
The Drive. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk
up on a Tuesday. Let's get Matt in here next. Matt, you're on the drive. Go ahead.
What's going on, boys? You wanted the Chaz Coleman stuff answered. Russell, why didn't you just send over Jim Knowles' doppelganger to get it resolved?
Oh, it's true.
But you could drive over there.
Interesting.
Just walk in there like you own the place. Sense of confidence. We'll get you some new UT Adidas polos. And you just walk in there and say, I'm here to talk to Chaz. Yeah, tell him Coach is on the line.
The only obvious problem to me would be I don't think we sound alike. And I'm not sure if we're the same size.
We don't know.
He is a good-looking SOB. I'll tell you that.
That's awesome. Well, listen, hey, I'll make it quick, guys, as y'all wrap up the show. I was thinking about this. Joshy Boy was holding on to those golden tickets for Nate Ament to come back, but as you touched on it earlier today, it's a pipe dream. So my question to you guys is, like, as we approach step 2 in the portal, as we kind of evaluated all the guys that have left, and Dwayne Brown's in the boat, and possibly Ethan Berg. I guess my question to you, Bob, and to the rest of the team here is, do you think Barnes will start to kind of bring in guys and evaluate them based off of like his own offensive style? Bob, I've always kind of looked at Barnes as a guy that likes to look at his front court, and I'm wondering, like, that next portal edition, do you think it will be somebody in the front court, or do you think he'll get his point guard situation resolved first and then go from there? And I'll hang up with that thought. Take care, boys.
Interesting.
Thank you, Matt. I know for a fact that his number one priority is point guard. Number one.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you got to have both. You got to have a big man.
Yeah.
You get. There's a couple things we know. I mean, we only got 2 returning players at this point.
Well, I think what's happening too, by the way, is some of the names we're hearing, like Thomas Dowd and Juke Harris. Those are guys that have expressed their intentions. There's some point guards out there that are highly coveted that have not expressed their intentions yet. And so not a lot you can say about it at the moment. Doesn't mean there aren't maybe conversations happening, but
I mean, it's at that.
We're coming, Vandy Randy.
I mean, every time you open
coming for your boy,
Twitter, it's somebody new's hit the portal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I know that I can say that with 1,000% confidence that that's what his top priority is, but that doesn't mean some of these other guys that they're in on aren't extremely important too. They're getting what they can, trying to strike while the iron's hot, because it is going to be total chaos. We think today was bad. Yesterday was bad. It just opened for business today. It's going to get worse, man, in the next few days.
Looking at that Joe Tipton's timeline.
Yeah.
Today it's just every 5 minutes a new guy and like big names that you've heard of.
Yeah.
I wonder how many kids are in the portal right now.
I've heard upwards, at least ones that have expressed their intent. It's like upwards of 3,000.
And all these kids aren't going to, that's the thing about it. I remember this from football season. Everybody goes into the portal. Isn't that probably never going to come out of it?
The music stops.
Yeah, I mean,
you ain't getting that cake.
Honestly, I mean, for every Tyler Tanner, there's with respect, a Troy Henderson. Doesn't mean they're bad, but there's a lot of different pieces and parts out there.
DR Vol is next. What up, DR?
Well, that's what we need is pieces and parts. Now, I tuned in like tailing into the conversation. Why was Roberto and Randy dumbass debating each other? Well, what happened with that?
Vandy Randy called out Roberto. Roberto just happened to be
referred to
on
as
hold.
Dumberto, which was kind of rude.
And so I just wanted to see if he would say it to his face, and to his credit, he did. But Roberto pretty much bodied him.
Well, and no offense to Roberto, but Vandy Randy doesn't sound very good at arguing either. I don't know if he's kind of slow or what, but good Lord, I could have got my 11-year-old on there and made him look dumb. So, Bob, after what you said in hour one, that does add up. That great freshman class, well, great's probably not the right word, but we had a good freshman class. Now they're all gone. So I guess Barnes is just loading up for one last ride this year, and that's got me depressed, dude.
Yeah, it makes me, I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but boy, it does make me wonder again. This is a total flipping of the script for him.
I don't know. I think, again, if it goes well and he's like, hey man, this is the new recruiting. I don't have to recruit kids for 3 or 4 years anymore. I'll just spend 2 weeks every spring assembling a brand new roster. I've got Big Jim Haslam writing my checks, and
we'll about 15 guys on salary as support staff, chopping up film and watching it.
We'll just go and do this now, and I'll just coach ball, man. I won't even have to worry about recruiting.
Haven't y'all mentioned that before? Maybe it was you, Bob. He kind of likes this era because he doesn't have to spend all that time wasted on a kid and not get him.
I think he's found, I wouldn't say joy, but I think he's found comfort in it. I remember talking to him 2-3 years ago before Dalton Connect and all this other stuff where he was saying to me, he was like, I don't know, man, I feel like a junior college coach all of a sudden. He was definitely down, and somewhere along the line he rebooted. And he has adjusted and he has evolved. And to Russell's point, maybe he evolves in this kind of mindset too. You never know. We'll see how next year goes. Maybe that'll re-energize him one more time.
It's just, I know y'all got to go, guys. It's just so hard to pull for laundry. That's why I love that Grant and Admiral team. You kind of got to watch them grow. And this 1 year in, 1 year out, it's just not as fun to me. I'm still going to pull for Tennessee, but I'm just not as invested. I'll hang up and listen.
I mean, the Zakai Jamai and I lump Jordan Gainey. I know he's only here for a couple of years, but in with that crew, but they may have been the last ones, last of a dying breed.
He said it. I mean, you're basically rooting for laundry at this point. You're cool uniforms, but it is kind of lame that it doesn't seem to mean as much to the players anymore. And they'll say great things about it. Like I saw something about Colton Hood in the lead up to the draft. I didn't even read the article, but the headline was something to people don't even know how much UT means to you. It means to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I hope you enjoyed your 10 months here. I enjoyed watching you play. Like, you're a nice player. Yeah. But I don't look at you the same way I look at other Terry Fair, Deron Jenkins, Jason Allen,
Eric Berry,
guys that played here for 3 or 4 years. I just don't know you like that. It's cool though. I hope you have a nice career and
hope you come back.
Yeah, man. We'll claim you. I hope when I see you on Sunday Night Football, you say, hey, Colton Hood, University of Tennessee. That'll be cool. But it's not the same. It's just different. All right. Adam Sparks joins the show. We'll do a deep dive on Tennessee football spring practice, which concludes Saturday with the orange and white game. That's